Okay.
We're live! Yay! We're here!
Hello, everyone.
Hey, what up, guys?
Hello.
Hello.
How is everybody doing?
We had some technical issues. Thank you, everybody, for your patience. Appreciate it.
We are all here. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Welcome to MixTalk Live, where we discuss all things nostalgic and retro, but still very relevant to the world in which we live in today. My name's Johnny freaking Rico. I'd like to welcome all of our panelists. Let's start here with Crazy Pac-Man. Can you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Why, certainly. Hey, everybody. Welcome to MixTalk Live. I am Crazy Pac-Man. I am one of many variety streamers on Twitch. I hail from Southern California, and I enjoy video games, and whether it's retro or just current, new, and now. And On my spare time, I like to keep up with sports, mainly basketball or baseball, whichever, whatever's um, starting up at the moment. I think baseball is about to end and basketball is about to start soon. And on my spare time, I like going to cons. Apparently, well, like I did like last weekend, or this past weekend, and just like to go look at nice, interesting things. Uh, whether it be trading cards or video games, again retro. And also, my spare time when I have nothing to do, I just like watch streaming services, like Disney Plus, just binge out, watching different TV shows or movies or whatnot. Just something simple. So, yeah.
All right, thanks, Crazy Pac-Man.
Yeah.
Next up on the panelists, DJP Remix. How you doing, sir?
I
Tell
am
us.
doing very good, Mr. Freaking Rico. What's up, everybody?
Mr.
What's
Freaking
up,
Rico.
y'all? My name is DJB. I am from the San Francisco Bay Area, repping Union City.
Hey, wait. I'm not from there. Why
That's
am
not
I?
where you're
Why?
from.
What?
I am known. My name is DJ Babinka Han, originally known on the streets as Lil D. I'm a streamer. uh, a live stream and XR technician by day, and I'm the production
Grizzly.
specialist behind the Fam Bam Valorant Community Tournament. So, you can check me out on my stream at twitch.tv/DJB underscore remix. I'm a lifelong fan of Final Fantasy, Star Trek, pro wrestling. You can catch me on the Mid Card Wrestling Podcast, as well as the Hype and soon to return podcast, Deep in the Mix. Keep an eye out for that one as well.
All right.
Wow.
Thank you, sir. As always, the lovely Rizzaline B. How you
Hi.
doing, Rizzaline? Tell us about
Hi.
yourself.
Hi, I'm doing well. Thank you so much for asking. I am not in the same room as DJB at all, and I'm totally not sitting next to him.
I'm totally not saying.
Whoa, how'd you do that?
Whoa,
Um,
that's magic.
I am a marketing person by day, and these days by night, I am watching guided meditation videos and journaling and
That's true.
trying to be my best self. Um, I don't really stream, but people like to throw me into their podcast, so that's kind of weird. Um, and yeah, it's 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 a pretty good day. It's Sunday. Love that. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
trying to have some good vibes these days.
Yes.
Yeah.
Less crazy,
definitely.
more chill.
Well, thank you, Rizzaline. Great to have you here. Next up on our panel is Annie Talks or Annie Talk Show. How you doing, Annie?
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Mix Talk Live. I'm Annie Talk Show, aka Annie Talks. I am a variety streamer. I met all of you guys actually from the old Twitch Things platform, and most of my follows came from Twitch Things. What do I do? So when Twitch Things went away, I took it upon myself and bought a MIDI controller piano and started playing music or streaming music. And then DJB, myself, and Rizzaline have done a collab music stream a few times. But then since then, I'm just mostly gaming. Valorant at the time, and then now kind of doing more podcasting-ish. I don't know. I'm lying. So I do plan to have a few more podcasts coming up in the future. So what's that?
Because you said you're lying, and I'm like,
Oh.
Nobody needs to know.
Nobody. Yeah, no,
Say
nobody needs to
anything.
know. What else do I do? Yeah, that's what I do. So yeah. Anyways, so hi everybody. You can follow me on Annie Talk Show. If you Google it everywhere, or Annie Talks or Annie Talk Show, you'll find me.
Okay, thanks, Annie.
What about you, Johnny? Introduce yourself.
Who are you?
Right.
We don't know you.
We don't know you. Imposter.
Hello. Great to
Who
see everyone.
are you?
Great to see all of you. You guys are just delightful.
Wow.
My name is Johnny Freaking Rico. I am Inland Empire video game streamer, content creator, and aspiring auto mechanic. I love all
Hey.
computer technology as well as fixing and restoring classic Japanese automobiles. I'm a product of the fabulous 1980s, and I love most all things retro. I'm also a huge fan of the horror film genre.
Yes, we
So
know.
great to be with you guys. Great to have you here.
Yay.
Great to see everyone in the chat.
Yay.
It's gonna be your
Hello,
season. It's
everybody in
gonna
chat.
spooky season is coming up, so
Yeah, it's
you're
true.
gonna you're gonna come out of hibernation, Johnny.
Okay, we do have an icebreaker question for each of the panelists here. You in the chat too. Please feel free to give us your answers as well. We'd love to hear from you. So our icebreaker question is, what did you do over the summer? We've had the
Ooh.
whole summer passes by. So we'll start with Annie Talks.
Oh man, I was gonna say put me last, put me last. Okay, really? Okay, I did really nothing. Honestly, did nothing.
Great.
Although, okay, I do have one little small thing that happened. I took it upon myself to go dark for 21 days, y'all, almost 30 days. So I literally like went off stream, went off the grid, and kind of went on a spiritual retreat. So, or spiritual, yeah, yeah. So spiritual retreat. So it was really good. I had, for me, it was a much needed rest for my soul, for my spirit, for my psyche, for everything, right? So mentally, spiritually, emotionally, it was really, really good. So I have a clear direction of where I want to go in the next couple weeks, months, and maybe in the next year. So I'm actually going to be starting some classes really soon. So yeah, I'm excited for that. We had a lot of family things, family get-togethers kind of thing. We lost an uncle not too long ago, so rest in peace, my uncle Jim, and prayers up to my family. A lot of get-togethers, summer swimming, this the typical stuff. So for me, it was just a spiritual awakening, spiritual rest, spiritual everything. So you'll be hearing a lot about that in my other channel on the Annie Talks show. So we'll be launching a faith-based podcast very, very soon. So that's what I did.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's kind of a big deal. I mean, 21 days with no social media, no
Mm-hmm.
streaming.
Mm.
Yeah.
How did
So
it go
For
for you
Annie.
though?
well, it was technically it wasn't necessarily um it wasn't a fast from food. The typical fasting that people know of is usually food. No, I couldn't go more than 2 or 3 days actually without food. This was kind of I was following a pastor, and in his stream he was saying, you can start this 21-day fast at any time. So I did. I took advantage of that, and it was really just kind of what most people do around Easter during Holy Week and whatnot. They give up something during Lent, so it's similar to
Yeah.
that. So for me, I gave up. The one thing that I spent a lot of time on, and everybody knows, is in my Twitch, Discord, and socials. So that was an easy choice for me to go dark for 21 days using all three of those, or not using those three platforms. So, but it went really well. Somebody asked me, one of my mods asked me, "What are you going to do for 21 days?" And the minute I started my 21-day fast, I literally was immersed in nothing but podcasts, day in and
Oh,
day
nice.
out. So it was I think I've listened to, if I counted correctly, I think I listened to like 123 podcasts in that 3-week time frame. So it
Nice.
was amazing. So it was very, very nice, very enriching for me. And it was kind of like a soul search. And I definitely know, the direction I want to go. So yeah, it was good.
Oh,
Thanks for
awesome.
asking. So yeah, I recommend it if anybody wants to, have that spiritual renewal, revival. Hit me up and I'll talk you through it. So it was great for me.
Oh, great.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
I
Annie
think
Fish.
everyone needs to unplug sometimes.
Yeah, for sure.
Even for a couple days, a week, a weekend, like go out camping, hiking, just get away from
Right,
everything,
right.
to recharge. Especially as streamers. I mean, it's a lot of work that streamers do. They don't really get a lot of credit. Everything
Mm.
is kind of like, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that?
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of energy, and sometimes you just need to unplug. So
Yep.
I totally
Mm-hmm.
see
Yep.
the importance of that.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you, Annie.
You're
Um,
welcome.
Same icebreaker question. What did you do over the summer for Crazy Pac-Man?
Oh, let's see. What did I do over the summer besides going to work and coming home and repeat? I actually took a summer class over the summer. Does that make sense? Yeah, I took
Summer
a summer
class
class
over the
over the
summer.
summer. I took a class. I took a geography class. Um,
Geography?
Geography, not
Geo.
geometry. No, no, geography. I want to make sure I say it right. Geography. Yeah,
Ge-
anyway.
geology? Wait, what? No.
So does that mean now you're ready to go watch Where in the World is Carmen San Diego, and you'll
Oh,
know all the answers already?
now, yeah. I mean, it's not just knowing where countries are, because to be honest with you, like it was actually 5% of what that class was. It's more about. Let's just say that I ended up feeling like a meteorologist. Let's just say that.
Ooh.
Oh,
Oh.
That's what it made me feel like, and yeah. Well, first off, I wanted to take a geography class because I wanted to take something a little less stress. Not so strenuous or anything like that. Just to get back into the habits of getting back to school because it's been like what, a decade, a
Right.
little more than a decade since I've been in school. So, um, it was successful. I was able to pass it, flying colors.
Nice.
Hey, anyway,
nice.
but
Wow.
what's really really interesting, just a long story short, um, what was really interesting that since this whole Hurricane Hillary came in to California, I started applying what I learned from that class. Just like, okay, what do I think the hurricane will become? How is it going to be really effective, right? So through scientific method, I actually applied what I learned and just thought about, okay, what's going to happen? Everybody's going to say like, okay, the hurricane's going to die out, but why? As it turns out, it did die out. So I was like, okay, well,
By
man, I must have
scientific
learned something
method.
by
Stop
scientific
the
method.
hurricane.
Was
In
the
order to be a
landfall?
scientific method, you have to find a possible failure. Yeah. So that's, as you could hear from me, like I learned a lot. So, but yeah, that's what I did over the summer. It was only a 6 week course, and other than that, it's just been working school. So,
Was it online?
yeah.
It was an online course.
Yes, it was an online course too, so that made it a little easier on the gas. So, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't take online classes for granted. You gotta put time into it because they
Yeah.
cram everything in 6 weeks, right?
Especially summer classes. Yeah.
Yeah, they cram a lot of stuff. They try to cram a whole semester worth of work into 6 weeks. So, I wouldn't take that for granted. Like I put in a lot of time for it. I actually took some time off work just to get it done, and you know, it's kind of something I may have to mention later on today. So, but yeah, long story short, went to summer school, and yeah, that's all I did.
Oh,
Everything was normal.
cool. Thanks, Crazy Pac-Man.
Yeah, thank you.
Icebreaker question. What did you do over the summer for Rizaline B?
Okay. Uh. Well, there. This summer was crazy. There's a lot of like crazy people stuff. So I think I was kind of, for a lot of it, I was just kind of in like protection mode, survival mode. So, and then I think maybe it took like a couple of weeks ago that I like snapped out of it. Um, yeah, I know. I can't. I guess that's the easiest way to put it. But other than that, I mean, we finally got to get some swimming in. So at our complex, was it since April that they
Yeah.
put up a sign that said the pool was under maintenance, and like
Oh.
every day I see it when I open our front door, I could see the pool,
Mm-hmm.
and like they were working on it for months and months, and it was already like what, middle of August.
Yeah.
So they only opened the pool maybe like 2-3 weeks ago.
Yeah, so like
Oh.
June, July, the prime summer
Most of the
Yes.
months,
summer
it was out of commission.
months.
That was the hottest months of
Yeah.
so far the year,
Wow.
right? Oh, geez, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
But now it's open and we've been able to take advantage of it, and it's nice and clean and new. And we've like our nephew, our nephew that lives in SoCal came to visit, and his grandparents, DJ's parents, like they brought him, and we all got some family swimming time.
Very cool.
It's lots of swimming. I mean, yeah, probably swim some more. It's pretty hot.
Kids love to swim. My
Yeah.
kid, his aunt had a pool, and he would not get out of the pool. She would call him a fish because like
Yep.
he would get all pruny, and he still didn't want to get out. It's like get out of the pool.
Yep.
Nope.
So yeah, kids love that. It's a good. It's good. Well, I'm glad to hear that they opened the pool there. That's awesome.
Finally. Yeah.
Especially the heat lately. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Icebreaker question: what did you do over the summer? DJB remix.
Yeah, well, Riz already talked about how we've been swimming a lot, and we spent time with my nephew. He's 8 years old, and it's always interesting, like when um, you have when your nephew is like getting to that age where he's starting to be like, you know, quicker with things, and we were just playing video games together and stuff, and that was kind of cool. Um, but other than that, two main things like define this summer for me is one, Fam Bam.
Yeah.
Because it was so long.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was, and for those that are part of Fam Bam, Ray and I have talked behind the scenes. For those that don't know what Fam Bam is, it's a Valorant tournament. It's a seasonal tournament, and it took literally the entire months of June and July to finish.
Wow.
And so I told, so Ray and I talked afterwards. Ray and I are the two members of leadership, and I was like, we can't do these long tournaments anymore. It's too much.
Yeah.
It takes so much. So anyway, but Fam Bam was a great season. I'm really proud of the production that that we pulled off. I'm proud of the talent and all the players even that just showed up. It just everybody just elevates their game on all fronts every tournament. So I'm always looking forward to the next one. So if anyone's interested in Fam Bam, go to @FamBamLeague on socials. Yeah. Anyway, now other than that, this summer, Rizalina and I spent a lot of time on our balcony. And that's what I'm always going to think
Oh.
about for this summer because it's like going back to how we're talking about, it's always nice to be
Yeah.
unplugged. Like at the start of the summer, Rizalina and I went to like a 3-day staycation in Occidental, which isn't very far from us, but it's up in the trees, and we just went on like nature walks, and um, it's far away from the city stuff, and we enjoyed it a lot. Maybe because like we both work at desks, and we work from home some for Risley some of the days, me pretty much all the days up until recently. um, and we're always in front of our computers and always in front of our digital stuff, so we found that it was really freeing, like you guys were talking about, to
Right.
just get away from all that, like look at things that are real, and like look out into the sky further than your eye can see, because yeah, it's good for your eyesight anyway. So we've just been really enjoying the warm weather, sitting on our balconies. We got some recliner chairs, and we
Nice.
just lie back and we just look at the sky at night sometimes and count the stars and stuff, see if we can spot any shooting stars. Like that's this summer for me. Honestly, just these random moments of peace that we find in the middle of our day uh, that I enjoy the most.
Right.
That's what stands out the most to me, and maybe that's showing like that I'm getting to be that kind of adult now.
Yeah, the calm before the storm. Who doesn't love that, right? Just-
True. Yes.
There really was a calm before the storm. If you guys were here in SoCal, Southern California, there was like literally
Oh man,
a lull before the
rain.
hurricane came, and then I was like, "This is eerie." It was.
It rained so bad. It rained so bad that they closed. I had no way to leave my house. Both ways they shut it
Oh.
down.
Wow.
What?
And it's like, what is this shit? So I went around the barricade. I don't care. You know me.
Wow.
Someone knocked it over already, so I'm like, oh well, I guess I'll go around it.
Wow.
But yeah, what did they expect? Like they're gonna cut you off from being able to leave your house, your neighborhood?
Yeah, that's
I
the
don't get it.
idea.
So, anyways,
Sorry, go ahead. So,
um, yeah. So for me, what did I do over the summer? I took one class. I'm currently trying to get some certificates in automotive technology, and they only had one class available. Unfortunately, for my college that I'm going to, summer classes are only 6 weeks, so they don't offer a lot of the engine classes, the transmission classes. They don't have it, but
Yeah.
they did have a class I needed to take. It was called Automotive Technology, Professionalism, and Courtesy, or some crap like that. It is a requirement. I got to take it. So it was pretty boring and a lot of sexual harassment
what?
Oh,
stuff
fun.
What?
and a lot of
It's
how to
like how
deal
to
with
be
irate
person.
customers,
Oh,
bullies in the workplace.
That's
oh,
It's
got
a
interesting.
it.
lot of
Got
stuff.
it.
Nothing that I've never, you know, taken at work, or some sense, but um it was my first only online class I've taken, and it was pretty nice because you can get ahead of the work if you want to.
Mm-hmm.
So I know
That's
some
true.
people are like, oh, that's a lot of work, but you can get it done in like 3 weeks. You know, there's
Hmm.
tests you gotta take, so you gotta make sure you pass the test, otherwise you fail. So, but that was pretty much it. Just trying to keep cool. It's been like really weird. It rained for like 2 days straight a couple of days ago, and it's been hot. Just like you don't even want to leave. It's like
Yeah.
um, and that's pretty much it. I've been trying to help my kid get his license. He's still trying to get his license. He
Oh.
failed for the third time, meaning he's
Oh,
got to start all
Oh
over.
no!
Oh.
And it's
What?
all he's a
It'd be
really good
like that though.
driver.
Yeah.
This is pisses me
Tests
off.
are
Okay,
hard.
because I talk to some people at the bar
Yeah.
that I go to sometimes, and they tell me the DMV over here sucks. Like they couldn't get their license for the longest time, and they went to Barstow or somewhere else, or Riverside, the
Which
downtown
one?
area. Well, I know they went to Barstow; they got it immediately. Some of the people I know, um, and I really beginning to believe that that's what it is. He's a really good driver, but they fail him because of the stupid bike lane crap. Even though there's no bikes at all, I've seen one this entire time.
Huh?
Anyways, I'm going off on a tangent here. So
Welcome to
hopefully,
the Johnny
fourth time's the
Tangent.
charm. Fourth time's the charm here.
But I mean, it's good that you're confident in his driving. Like,
Oh yeah,
as
I'll
long as
sleep
you're
half the time.
okay,
I'll
then
sleep.
that's,
That's how confident I am. I'll
yeah.
fall asleep. No,
That's
he's a really good driver. It's just they have a
that's
ridiculous requirements. Like the bike, even me, the bike lane. I don't know what the hell to do. I had to actually look up the rules, and
run him over.
everyone gives you a different answer what to do with the checkered
Right.
lane, and
Right. Right.
Anyways, so that's the thing you gotta watch out for. They will fail you immediately. You could do everything right, but if you screw up the bike lane, whatever they want you to do, you're gonna fail. So, FYI.
Well, people also have test anxiety, so it,
Yeah,
they
you know
could do
what? If you
well.
have anxiety, eat bananas before you gotta do something. It helps calm you. No, it's true. It helps calm you. Have two
Interesting.
bananas.
oh,
Um.
that's me too, huh?
So,
Okay.
anyways,
Potassium.
so today's topic is learning. We're
Yes.
gonna talk about learning. We're gonna have questions from our panel about learning. So, whether you are young or old, we as people of the global academia learn our skills and gain our experience in many different ways. There was a saying that you can't teach an old dog new tricks, but this is BS. Just look at all the many new technologies and computer advancements that our generations have embraced. We live stream, we communicate using programs like Discord, we take online classes, we play MMO video games, and we interact with countless other people all around the world. As Scarface would say, the world is yours in this new and amazing digital age in which we live.
Wow.
So
Okay.
deep.
That was deep.
That's it.
I
Yeah.
gotta go deep.
We need like a
Scarface.
music, like business stock music
Yeah.
playing behind.
Wait. Okay.
That
Let's
was
see
great.
if
That
I
would have been great.
let's see if I can find
Okay.
some. No, that's like no, that's disco. Okay, never mind. Go ahead. Sorry. I can try and find some ambient music.
So we got some questions from our panelists. We're gonna start with our first question from Annie Talks.
Oh my gosh. Okay, what's my first question? Give me a minute, y'all. Okay, so my first question, let's see. Okay, so was there a class, let's say a class or a course that you took that was maybe outside of your curriculum? Let's say you went to college or junior college or whatever, was there a class that you either took, either wanted to, forced to take, maybe because you had to fulfill some units for your requirements that you took, that you would say that you enjoyed or maybe even hated the least, enjoyed the least, so hated. uh, yeah, so is there a course or a class that you took maybe when you were younger or during your, when you were pursuing your degrees or your certificates that you had to take that you either enjoyed or did not like?
I can go first.
Okay, go.
Okay.
Okay. I had to think about this because it's been a minute since I've been in college and in high school. Um, I in college, kind of like random, but I took like it was like a radio television class, and it's for the radio, like the university radio station. But what I did, it's like for people that take the class, like they kind of have them do like random stuff, like because not everyone's gonna like be a DJ on the radio station. So what I did was they had a bunch of CDs, and I would take whatever they'd lay them out, and I'd pick whatever ones I want, and like just listen to them, and then like give a suggestion of I think I like this song or this track.
Right.
So it was fun because I got to listen to like new music and like find out about new artists, and there's some that I still follow. So that was cool. Um, Least favorite, I mean, what comes to mind? So in high school, I took French, and I like it. I like French. It was good, but like I think they put me in like AP French, but it was kind of janky because there weren't a lot of French students, so you just it's just the regular French class, but we just get extra work because we're AP students. But I did not do very well on the AP French. And that's okay. I accepted it. It was not. I probably I don't know French like that anymore. So maybe the class wasn't as good. So
Say something in French.
Yeah, you have to say something.
Je ne sais pas les choses.
Eh?
Huh? What was that?
I don't know.
What you have to do is you have to take
Oh.
act like you're taking a swipe from a cigarette really quick, and then say something. Say it artsy in French.
Oh. That's okay.
Je ne sais pas,
Yeah.
something like that.
Je
Yeah.
ne sais
Okay.
amour.
Yeah.
All right. Well.
Oui,
Yeah.
oui.
Yeah. AP French.
Okay, we
Cool.
see why you did poorly on the AP test.
Exactly.
But no judging,
Just
no
kidding,
judgment.
AP tests are very hard. Okay.
They are.
Mhm.
I don't know what I was thinking.
Okay. Same question. What course class did you take that was out of your curriculum that you enjoyed the most or least? DJB remix.
Okay. Of course, did you say? So, all right. The one that came to mind. I took a teacher's. It was called Teacher's Cadet, and it was my senior year of high
Wow.
school
Uh-huh.
for students that potentially would want to become teachers. And I don't know what I was thinking taking that course because I was
Man.
not a
It's like being-
sociable. I wasn't the most. I'm not an extrovert by any stretch. So like, and this was a class where you basically had to present every week, you know, and I hated it. I don't know why I did it. I don't know why I stuck with it. I guess I just was like being very I don't know, like I wanted to push myself, I
Right.
suppose. But however, I did find it useful, even though I never became a teacher. I did like start teaching guitar, and I started teaching like music programs to young people um, out of high school,
Mm-hmm.
and so I actually, I found some use in it, and a more recent example that's that I would say that I enjoyed out of my curriculum, because I studied broadcasting and electronic communications in university, and I one of my electives was Japanese manga,
Oh,
and
wow.
yeah, and I've developed an appreciation for manga. Like I think that my introduction to manga was just Shonen Jump type, Dragon Ball Z, Ranma, that kind of thing. But like I learned about like the history of manga, and how it became what it is today, and how it's sort of it's sort of a revered art form, a revered literature form in Japan. Um, so
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so I thought that was a really interesting course. I really enjoyed it. I found it, even though it's supposed to be one of those fun electives, it was actually a really challenging one that I had to study a
Wait,
lot
and you
for.
had to learn like the Japanese language, yeah, too, or did you just have to like learn? Because it reads not the traditional left to right, right? Doesn't it read right to left?
Yes,
Yeah.
but the manga that we were reading in that course was in English. Like it was the English
Ah, got
translation.
it, got
So
it. Okay,
yeah.
makes sense. But does it still read right to left even in the English version?
Yeah. We
Oh
had
yeah.
to like start from the back of the book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and go
Mm.
backwards.
Oh yeah, you have to. It's like a reverse,
Interesting.
Mhm.
right to
Nice.
left.
I love that. There's college courses for like anything now.
Yeah, literally. I heard there was a college course of learning about the Beatles up in
Oh,
UNLV.
it
There's a
That's
is.
really
Beatles
cool.
course.
Beatles are actually
Yeah.
one of the categories in music courses and music classes, like
Yeah.
in music. Um,
Huh.
oh my gosh,
Sure.
what's the theory? Music theory. Duh. Oh my gosh, I don't know why I
Hmm.
didn't think of it. Music theory. When in learning music theory, you had to learn kind of the history, even from like Baroque, and all the way to even the genre of the Beatles, because they were an actual category, believe it or not. Yeah.
Hmm.
So yeah.
That's interesting.
Okay.
Okay, thanks, DJB. Same question for Crazy Pac-Man. What course class did you take that was out of curriculum that you enjoyed the most or least?
Okay. Since most of the classes I've taken, like they've been pretty relevant to what I wanted to do, but there was an actual class that came to mind, and this came from high school. Um, I've taken for 2 years. I've taken ballroom dance.
What?
I've taken ballroom dance class for two
Nice.
straight
Nice.
years,
Sampo,
and
Those are
sampo.
fun.
Dang it. Now we need a demo.
Yeah.
well,
That's where people
I'm
kind of meet
rusty.
people.
I'm rusty, but anyway, I may know some basics. But anyway, yeah, I somehow, I don't know if I lured myself into, or got lured into taking it. So I thought it was fun. Um, I enjoyed it. Um,
You got
I was
honeypotted into
yeah, but
chicken
here's the
sauce.
but here's the thing. Like I actually took I felt like I took a risk of that because I was a shy kid. Like I was a really shy person in high school, and I guess it was just a challenge for me because I've known there were some of my friends who are in my I'd say in my history class, because my history teacher was the one that taught the curriculum or the course. So she convinced me like, oh hey, she was asking me like, why don't you join our ball and dance class? And like I don't know. And then like I've known there's some classmates of mine who are
Glendale.
in it, and I'm like, well before we went out, like my then girlfriend was in there, so I was like, okay, we'll go. I'll join ballroom dance, which is actually pretty cool. You get to learn dances, but at the same time, we actually learned etiquette. We learned table etiquette. We actually know what those little tiny like utensils are and what they're used for and how it's set up for a reason.
Oh.
And yeah, and it was along the way. It was a very enjoyable class. We did some performances for our homecomings. Um, and it counted as for PE credit too, because yeah, like
Oh, no.
PE.
for me, like
yeah.
I enjoyed PE more than any other course, but then I'm like, why did I choose this over PE of all things? But like, I was okay with it because it was my last 2 years of my of high school anyway, so might as well do something that's a little less strenuous and you don't have to worry about sweating, you know.
Was it fun though? Did you like it, little?
It was fun. It was fun. It was actually pretty fun. Up until this point, I actually felt like maybe I should go to one of those like places where they offer like free salsa like lessons and stuff. Maybe kind of rekindle it a little bit, you know, because I got nothing else better to do other than work and go home. And so, yeah.
Awesome. I feel like the music is a little too loud. Do you guys hear the music in the background in chat? I asked one of the mods, and I just want to make sure it's not too overpowering. Sorry, technical issue.
Is it ballroom dance music you're playing?
Oh, I don't know.
It's
if
interpretive
tango, I don't
dance
know. It's gonna be
music.
hard or salsa. You know what I mean?
Ever since you said that, all I hear is that "Dance with Me" song playing in the back of my mind.
Mm-hmm.
You know, dance with me. That's all I hear. I don't know. Thanks a
Oh,
lot,
yeah.
man. Thanks a lot. That's all.
Yeah, it just reminds me, yeah, because we learned tango, we learned waltz, we learned even swing, well, 3-step swing, just a little quicker, tango.
Which one of the dance styles was your favorite then?
I actually kind of like the. Okay, don't laugh. All right, maybe salsa was actually pretty good.
Nice.
No, yeah.
We did a bit of rumba and yeah, actually
Mhm.
swing is actually pretty cool.
Yeah, those are good for. Those are the basics for parties and stuff.
Yeah, but swing it's a workout.
No line dancing? No, just kidding.
Like
Just kidding.
let's see, 3-step swing, 1-step swing. Yeah, it's a workout.
Line dancing is hard, Annie.
Hey,
Especially when
I
you're
know.
drunk.
I went to a singles thing a couple weeks ago, and we were doing karaoke plus line dancing. I was like, I
Oh
was
my God.
dying after the second song. I'm like, really? It was like hard on your calves, y'all. I was like, yeah, it's a
We
thing.
used to go to this place in San Bernardino called Midnight Rodeo because they
Nice.
had dollar drinks and they'd have line dancing. And so my cowboy friend Mark, he would show us like how to do it. But after you've had a lot of drinks, you ain't gonna dance at all. Okay, you're not gonna learn to dance on the fly.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, I'm gonna answer the question next.
Okay.
So I have 2 classes. I'll say that I enjoyed the most, that I didn't expect to. They were a part of my curriculum, but not really. It's like a requirement. One of them was critical thinking class. I thought this class is gonna be BS, blah blah. It actually was very interesting. We had a very good instructor. This was in college, and we really we talk about a lot of things that you don't think about, but it's very relevant to everything. You know, I think everyone, especially in high school, that should be part of the curriculum. Critical thinking. Another class that I was really surprised I enjoyed was international law. We had a teacher who was an ex lawyer, and he made the class so interesting because you see how when a lawsuit happens, it can create a precedent when it goes to the Supreme Court and reshape the law altogether. It was really interesting, and he made it really interesting. That instructor we had. I didn't even get a good grade in the class. I think I got a B, which I was kind of pissed, but I learned so much. I didn't care.
B is a good grade.
For me. No. But
Wow.
you know, that's when you know you're in a really good class or you have a really good instructor. It's like you really learn something and you enjoy it. You don't care what grade you get. You're just getting something
Right.
out of it regardless.
It's
Two
fulfilling.
classes,
Yes.
critical thinking and international law. And those were both in college for my bachelor's in science for computer programming. It's kind of weird. That would be a part of the curriculum, but it was. So.
No, I believe it. Cause I work for a university. Like I'm not a professor, but I'm like on staff. So like, it's like, it, it's like there's like the soft skills, and then the, is it hard? I don't know.
Professional
But it's like,
skills, yeah.
yeah,
Hard
it's like,
skills.
I mean, we wanna. It's important to learn all the technical stuff for your field, but it's also important to like.
Oh
Learn
yeah,
how
you
to
need the
think
foundation
and
stuff, and then you
how
need
to be
the
how to
core.
be people.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Right.
but yeah, that's the two for me. Any talks? Your answer for this one? What class courses did you take that was out of your curriculum that you enjoyed the most or least?
Okay, so when right out of high school, I went to a performing arts school to get a music degree, or no, sorry, musical theater degree. So the class that I had to take was, it was part of the curriculum, was stage acting. Okay, which I'm like, oh, okay, because it makes sense because you're in musical theater, you're on the stage, and you had to learn the different types of stages, platform stages and so on and so forth. But the one class that we had to take was, oh my gosh, it was called stunt.
Cool.
It was stunting of something. I cannot remember what it was, but we had to
It does sound
learn.
cool.
It was a stunt class, so on stage. So
You
I
jump through a building.
Yeah, pretty much. I had to learn how to tuck and roll. So we had to jump.
Wow.
So we had this platform that was set up, and literally people would run like we acted like we were gymnasts. We'd run down this long, matted area. It was a rubber mat basically, and you're running, and then we were taught how to what we call tuck and roll. You actually had to tuck in. It was a really weird way to tuck and then roll, and you had to roll onto a mat. You do it wrong, you're gonna break your neck. I was like, what? That's what he told us too. Our instructor taught us, like, if you do it wrong, you're just gonna break your neck. We're like, so every time we came up, I was like, oh my god, yeah, seriously, stunt 101 for real. And I was scared out of my brain doing it. But then after a few times, it got better because you started to learn kind of, you already knew like at what pace to run. You already knew how far from the leaping point or the jump point to go into your tuck and roll and to come out, standing on your feet. So yeah, that scared me. Learning that for the first time, I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna come out of here. I'm gonna break my neck. My mom's gonna tell me never again. No, you can't go to school. Yeah, so that was the least favorite because I was scared out of my brain. And then I guess the one class that I really excuse me one class that I really enjoyed besides the music was fast forward years later, I went to get my degree in public relations. So, and I had a minor in radio, TV, film, hence, all this. So the one thing I had to learn with radio was how to put a commercial together from start to finish. We used Ableton. No, not Ableton. Oh my gosh, Audacity. We used Audacity. So, and then learning that was super fun. I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to do PR anymore. I think I'm going to do radio. So that was my favorite thing to do, was learning how to put a commercial together, learning how to use the controls. So, I kind of fell in love with that too, with when it came to radio, and I wanted to do radio forever. And so I, later in life, when after my divorce, I kind of found myself and said, okay, what do I want to do? I want to do this, so I kind of married the radio and the TV part together, and then here, lo and behold, came YouTube and Twitch, and here we are. So I attribute that one class in my minor, learning how to put together a radio commercial, a a 10-second roll, 15-second roll, 30-second roll, 60-minute roll, or 60-second roll. That means just your commercial spot and that kind of stuff. So that was a lot of fun, and I absolutely adored it. So there. So my least favorite was the stunt class, and my favorite was the radio class.
Yeah, because if you think about it, all these radio programs on the AM, or even some of the FM, they got to pay their bills.
Right.
Someone creates those little short, like tightly packed commercials.
Yeah.
And it's like a 20-second spot. It's got to be 20 seconds, right?
It does, and you have to hit all your points. You have to hit the who, what, where, when, why.
And you got to be it needs to be clear and concise, but not too rushed so you don't understand what they're saying.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a whole job in itself. I mean, I can see how they could have a full-time staff just
right
at different radio stations just for that alone.
Yep.
So
I loved it. It was a lot of fun. And how to run an audio board. Yes, exactly. CT Husky Man. CT Husky Man, you guys know, if you don't know, he's also from a radio background. So he and I talk about that once in a while. So yeah, running a board is scary. But yeah, it's a little scary, but at the same time, it's a lot of fun. So I love learning. So that's my goal in life, is to be able to run a full audio board.
could you do a voiceover, Annie? CT Husky Man was.
You want me to do a voiceover?
Voiceover, how to do an ad. Yeah.
Wait, no, you don't want me to do a voiceover now, do you?
Well, if you want, you don't have to.
You could do an ad.
In a world.
Oh.
In a world decimated by cameras.
I think I did one for
and bad lighting,
Anchor. I did one for Anchor where I said,
green light.
where it says something like, I can't wait to hear your podcast, or something like that. I don't know. It was really weird. Yeah.
Felt
Yeah. Oh well. Okay. There you go. Or here
Very well.
in the reverb. I can't wait to hear your podcast.
Wow. Sunday.
It's fun day, fun day, fun day.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
Oh my
Come
God.
to a monster truck rally.
I was like, Telemundo.
Right.
A Salvador del Mundo.
There you go. So if anybody wants a 20 or 30 second, 60 second spot, hit me up. Hey, just kidding.
12 de la mañana. Telemundo.
I was gonna say, Annie, you were talking about the stunt 101 class we had to practice stunts and stuff.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that? You break your neck and you get an F.
I know. Really, I know.
Wow.
I mean, that was scary. He goes, okay, so if you do it wrong, you're just going to break your neck. We're all like, what? What? Did he say you break your neck? Yeah. So, yeah. And people were getting like daring. Like they would do jumps in mid-air and tuck and roll. I'm like, oh, and I would just like, I had anxiety to begin with, and to be able to see people do that. Like, oh, by the way, you guys, and just so you guys know, and Voodoo and Pac-Man can appreciate this, but my classmate was the original Black Ranger, which was oh my gosh, Walter Jones. Yeah, thank you, Walter Jones. He was in my class.
Yeah.
He was in my stunt. He was in my theater class, and he was. Oh my gosh, he was killing it. He and this other guy, they were killing it when they were doing stunts. And I'm like, okay, whatever. Just, I'm not following you guys ever. So I was always like last. So
He studied hip hop keto, I mean.
yeah,
Mhm.
totally.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And he was one of the ones that was like leaping in the air, suspended in air, and then tuck and roll, and then do it like, he meant to do that. It was amazing. So
Wow.
yeah.
Dope.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. So I knew him from way back when, before he was a actual Power Ranger. So
Well, it makes a lot of sense though,
Interesting.
because on a low budget production, they're not gonna have stunt people.
right.
So you need to be able to make it look believable, but not go over
Do
the
it
top.
safely.
But this is
Yeah.
stage.
Even actors that do these stunts where they don't have a stunt person,
Yeah.
even the most slightest, like you'd never think that little fall or little trip they do, it could break their leg,
Right.
and it does a lot of times,
For-
because they do
for
it
exa-
so many times for that take.
For example, Tom Cruise.
Oh, he does all of his stunts. Unbelievable.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
He got really
Which-
hurt
Chuck
on
Norris,
one of
too.
them
Yeah.
on the previous, not the last movie, the one before that.
Jackie Chan and Chuck Norris are others that do their own stunts as well. So,
Mhm.
Yeah.
all right,
Okay, moving on.
moving on. Thank you, everybody.
Question. DJB remix. Let's go ahead and go to your question.
All right, my question. I just want to right off the bat ask the second question that I have listed that I'm most curious about.
Do it.
I was
Let's
hoping you wouldn't
go.
get to that.
Let's get controversial. Let's go.
All right, and I want everybody in chat for all the questions. We love hearing your answers as well. Type them in chat.
We want to see
Yes.
names. We want to see descriptions. Let's go. Let's go.
Right. So, who was the hottest teacher you ever
Oh
had?
no!
Share memory.
Let's go.
Is there ever a teacher that
No.
you, the hottest? And if you're like, none of my teachers were hot, well, you have to pick one. All right? That's just the rule. Who would you pick if you had to?
I want to
Okay.
Yes, go.
go. Okay, when I was in my performing arts school, I went to a school out here in San Diego called United States International University School of Performing and Visual Arts, and I had a piano teacher that was so hot, so hot. He was my
Yes.
piano teacher, and his name was Robert Loisel. He was French.
Wow.
Loisel. And he was, man, freaking eye candy, y'all. I couldn't. I was like, please stop this. Don't be my teacher. Go away. Go away. And he made me so nervous, like, because I'm doing scales, I was doing arpeggios, right, up and down, and then he says, "Is there anything that you have any questions or anything you want to go over?" And I said, because I was playing more classical music at the time, so I said, you know what I really like to do, because I'm gonna need to learn to do this anyway at some point. I'd love to be able to like learn how to play chords and inverted chords and jazz chords and this and that. Oh my God. He would play, he was so mesmerizing that I was like, I forgot everything he said. Literally forgot everything he said. And everybody wanted his class. And they're like, Annie, oh my God, can you get me? And I'm like, no, there's no way. His class was always full. And I was never late to his class, ever. But he made me so nervous. My hands, my sweaty palms. But yeah.
Can you describe what was his vibe like?
He was so laid back, he was pretty tall. He was almost kind of lurchy tall, but tall, slim. And every time he tickled those ivories like, oh my gosh. And it was amazing. Yeah, if he could sing, that would have been over. I would have been like, marry me, at a teenager. But no, but he would like literally tickle the ivories and just play. And he goes, okay, you can always convert or invert like this. And he was very soft spoken, and oh my goodness, I was just like, okay, I'm gonna go because I'm, clearly not concentrating.
But like,
Very nice.
was he the kind of teacher that like a lot of students thought was
Everybody thought he was hot. They're like, "Are you going to piano?" And I'm like, "Yes." and a lot of the girls would follow me up to the door, and I was like, "Go, you guys, go!" Like, get away. And they would be like, "Hi, Mr. Loisel," and I'm like, you need to stop. So yeah, I was just happy that I had him for the hour because he was my teacher. But eventually we had a good rapport, and he trusted me as a piano player. We created this show called Black and White in Shades of Gray. So we basically brought our own pieces, our own compositions to the show, and a lot of his influence was in my music. So I cannot for the life of me find that music book anymore. So I had a lot of different songs that I wrote at the time, and he was very pleased with my writing. So I mean, how many years later, umpteen years later, I can't even attest to what I did. So yeah, but he was one of my favorite. He was my absolute favorite teacher, and he was super hot to look at. So, all right, I'm gonna go right now and repent. And I'll be right back.
Throw us some holy water, please.
Yes,
No.
yes, yes. So that was my teacher, Mr. Loisel. He was my piano teacher.
So Mr. Wazell, if you're watching,
I went looking for him and I can't find him anywhere. I think he might have passed actually. So kind of sad. Yeah, I literally went looking for him. I even Googled the school name. I Googled, the performing arts program that we did. He was super well known in the university and in the community. So darn. Yeah. Okay. I'm really
okay,
hot
I'm
right
gonna go
now.
next. I just want to get this out of the way.
Yes.
Thanks a lot, DJB. So, oh my god. Okay,
Yes.
so my second grade teacher, Mrs. Landau, I had the biggest crush on her. She was
Wow.
blonde,
Wow.
and even my parents would be like, "You're always talking about your
What did she
teacher,
teach?
Mrs.
Oh.
It was second grade, so it
Oh,
was
second
like
grade,
it was
okay.
it was the first like young teacher I had because I had a kindergarten teacher who was older, and I was just infatuated with her apparently. And like Andy says, you don't learn anything
You don't.
because you're like not really paying attention, So my grades weren't bad, but I could have done better with a less attractive teacher, I guess. But even at that age, I guess I don't know. That's just what I remember the most.
That's young. Second
Yeah.
grade?
Wow,
Yeah.
you remember second grade?
Yeah, I remember her. Yeah.
Wow.
That's how hot she was.
That's how.
I know. Age ain't nothing but
Remember
a
from
number.
second
Andy.
grade.
Age ain't nothing but a number.
Oh no.
You gotta wait till later on to think about that again, to
know.
revisit that.
But no, she was
my
really
goodness.
pretty, really nice.
Did you
She
ever, like, tell
she
her?
wasn't married.
No.
No, I was just, more like infatuated with her and just thought she was just amazing. And,
What about the other classmates? Did they think she was hot too?
Oh, they must have.
I was kind of a shy
Very good.
kid. I wouldn't like talk to other kids about how hot Miss Landau was. It's just crossing the line. Plus, they may
Second
like her
grader.
too.
Yeah.
It's like competition. They may like her
Like-
too. It's like, hey, what?
yeah.
Or they might embarrass you and tell the teacher.
Yeah.
Yeah, they draw a picture, heart the teacher, and then give it to her.
Johnny and so and so
Kissing in the tree. Okay.
You can also
That's
like,
exactly why. You just proved
Yeah.
my point, Pac-Man. Thanks a lot, man.
Yeah.
That's my point. That's why you don't tell anybody.
a lot of the teachers. Well, for me, like a lot of the teachers were female, so
Right.
and they were older. Like I'm like thinking through the.
Well, you got to understand, like, when I was growing up in the 80s, in the 80s, I'd say, elementary school, it's like the teachers were a little different. They weren't like educators. They didn't go to school to become an educator. They had real jobs and they worked in real industries. Some in marketing, some of them in law firms. So there was a different etiquette to them.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't like, they really had a I don't know, a different vibe about them because they were real working world people. They were more real. Some of these educators, I'm not knocking people that go for education degrees, stuff like that, but there's a completely different vibe with those teachers back then that had careers like in different fields, and then they go into teaching, and then there's a difference with you just go for your education degree and you're educator.
Mm.
I mean, there's some principals that have never even been a teacher. They just, I want to manage. I don't want to. It's like, how can you manage the teachers if you never taught a class? It makes no sense.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Takes one to, or right? Takes one to be one.
Takes one to
Takes
know
one to
one,
know
right?
one. There you go. Yeah. Awesome.
Anyway, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Let's move on to DJB Remix. Let's hear your answer, buddy.
Yeah.
Who was your hottest teacher you ever had? Share a detailed memory.
I'll cost
Okay.
3.5.
So, Um, I was in high school, and uh, I went to Vallejo High, and Vallejo was is one of Vallejo's not exactly a great city that people want to send their kids to any of the public schools at. Let's just put it that way, because it's
Really?
because it's the hood.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I grew up in the hood.
No,
Um,
not at all.
but
I don't
so
think you've ever mentioned that.
so anyway, Algebra 1, uh, and this is sophomores in Algebra 1. Basically, all the kids that failed algebra the first time as freshmen. And I failed algebra because I'm not that kind of Asian.
That would be
I
me.
am
I'm
That would
not
be
that
me.
kind of
I
Asian.
am terrible at math. Math is a struggle for me. But anyway, so yeah, so these are all like the tough kids because a lot of them just don't care. This is the public school, and like a lot of these kids just like cut class all the time, never go, um, or they just like, or there were some of them that just didn't like do algebra,
Right.
and it's kind of like, in this class, like the teachers kept quitting. It was one of those problems. Like there was a lot of talk around this time about like budget cuts to the public school system. So a lot of teachers were leaving, or like because it's just not a great job. Um, and so it was one of those classes where they would put a substitute teacher in because they didn't have a teacher to teach it. Um, and they would just be there until the substitute teacher decides, I can't do this anymore. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And we must have went through like 5 different teachers because the kids were just that bad in that
Wow.
class.
Right.
So I remember there was one teacher that we went through. She was like a substitute teacher that was a teacher in the Philippines, and she had just come from the Philippines recently, I think. So she still had a very thick Filipino accent. And you know how like the teachers in the Philippines,
Yeah.
teaching style in the Philippines is so different than teaching style in the United
Yep.
States.
Yep.
And like it seemed like she wasn't used to being like questioned, or the kids would make fun of her accent because she would say like, that's the inappropriate answer.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Yeah. And they're like, what? Yeah.
She got so mad she like would
That
throw
was the hot teacher?
throw books. No. I'm sorry. So she quit. She could not handle it. After like 3 weeks, she's like, out. I'm out. Even the Filipino kids were giving her trouble. Then there was another guy that they put in like this tough guy who his head was shaved, a shaved head, like white guy, and one of the kids like said he looked like Stone Cold Steve Austin,
Nice.
Oh.
and they got into this really big argument. The teacher started cussing at him, being so upset with him. So he got kicked out of being the teacher. So remember, I mean, this is like, we're all trying to learn. So finally, we get this one teacher. I don't know where they found this lady. Her name was Miss Lujan, and she had to have been in her like late 20s at most.
Okay.
And she was like a brunette. She wore glasses, but she was really, I wouldn't say like she's smoking hot, but she was very pretty.
Right.
And I was surprised. Like, you don't find like people, teachers don't like that, are kind of afraid to teach at a school like Vallejo High.
Right.
And
It didn't scare her, huh?
well, I mean, she was kind of strange because she talked in like a very monotone voice, like kind of like this, and didn't really, but she would teach the lessons, and sometimes the kids would pay attention, sometimes they wouldn't care, but at least no one wanted to pick on her.
Right.
Like the kids were like, maybe because she was super pretty, maybe because she seemed like she deserved a break.
Oh, maybe she was
She-
trying. They just felt sorry for her. Yeah.
But yeah, like I remember there was a point where some of the kids were getting pissed at, like, the kids would like argue with some of the bad kids because they were saying like, stop trying to sexually harass the teacher or whatever. You know what I mean?
Right.
And Miss Luhan, like, she hung with it till the end of the semester. I mean, sorry, till the end of the school year. So I was
Nice.
amazed
Good for her.
that she,
That
yeah, good
sounds
for her.
terrible for the teachers. What? I mean, what? I mean, I thought I grew up in the ghetto, here in SoCal. It was pretty bad. It's funny because we have people that on Facebook they'll post pictures of the classrooms we were in, and man, they were dumps. It's like, wow, that's a classroom,
Right.
Yeah.
but
Like,
it just
this was a
seems.
trailer. They put us in a trailer.
Yes. I remember those.
Yeah, no, it's like it was kind of like the movie Dangerous Minds, basically.
That's what I was thinking of in my brain.
Well, that
like,
was
when you're
filmed.
mention-
That was filmed
Yeah.
in up there, but not Vallejo. It
Minds.
was on the other side of the.
I think they call those
I know where that was
bungalows.
filmed.
Yeah.
Oh, really? All right.
No, Palo Alto. Palo Alto.
Oh, East Palo Alto. Yeah.
I've been there, man. It's pretty bad.
That's
It's
across
bad.
The water from us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's bad. Like you drive up there, you're like, yeah, this is where they filmed it.
That's
Definitely.
always like the east side of places.
You can hear the Coolio song, playing. And as you cross over.
Yeah.
Gangster's Paradise.
Mm.
Okay. Thanks for sharing that, Miss Luhan.
Miss Luhan.
I tried to look her up. I couldn't
Even her
find
name's kind of
Oh,
sexy.
thanks.
Oh man. Okay, let's Rizaline B. What about
Hi.
you, Riz?
Okay.
What about you? Sexy
what was
teacher.
that?
Here's some details.
In-
Hot teacher.
So,
Okay, I'm sorry. Hot.
Smoldering,
so
Getting hot in here.
in my high school,
scorching. Sorry.
I went to Catholic high school, but the hot teacher, his name is Mr. McCabe, and he's like, he taught like science classes. So what did I take? I took like an environmental studies class. So that's his thing, is like granola save the earth, but he's like, he had brown hair, but like very, very, he was like younger and like friendly. Like all the girls, like they call him Mr. McBabe. They call him Mr. McBabe.
Oh my
And
god.
like, he's just like a good guy. Like he has like a wife and like kids, and they like probably go out in the forest and stuff. But yeah, I was like, I gotta make sure to at least take one of his classes, because then I can learn something about the environment and also have a
Environment.
Yeah, the environment is
Yeah.
important.
yeah. I even did something where like I built it was a group project of building like an eco-friendly home, and we did it on like Google somehow. Like there's some kind of tool or something
Really?
to design houses.
Nice.
Yeah, and this is like the later half of the 2000s. So it's so even like introducing like technology and all that. But it's a nice good looking guy. All the girls would try to be all flirty and stuff. I wasn't flirty. I just was in class.
We'd like to learn about your environment.
We might.
Add us to your class.
So I had a question for the girls in the group here. So when you like a teacher and you're in class, you know how you have your little notebooks and you draw things on there? Do you ever do like hearts and then the guy you like or the teacher you have a crush on?
Maybe
So,
in
like, if
high
you were to-
school I did.
Daydream.
Because girls
mean,
like,
I-
would write all over in pen. Like, I love this, I love that, or Mr. McBabe. You know.
I mean, because in high school, it's like, I mean, sure, the teacher's cute, but like I was more preoccupied with the actual boys my age.
With the
So-
actual boys, yeah.
So,
Yeah, so
yeah.
good.
Because the actual guys are not good enough up there. You gotta go to the teacher.
I don't know. All the
Miss
teachers in
Babe.
my high school were all kind of stuffy, and older. So I was like,
Oh, boy.
there was nobody worth it, honestly, or that was, you know.
No, but if you have too many attractive teachers, you're not going to learn because it's going to be crazy, you know?
So they got to put ugly teachers? Is that what you're saying?
I know.
How rude.
That's like.
No,
on
I'd
the
say
application.
ugly. I'm just saying, like, you can't have no, like, Victoria's Secret teacher.
No
you know?
6-pack for the guys, huh?
Yeah, no Rob Lowe. Mr. Low, the teacher. Okay, moving on. Same question.
Uh,
Who
who?
was the hottest teacher you ever had? Share a memory,
Oh
crazy.
wait, I guess I'm the only guy, right? Okay. I was like, wait a minute. Are they all like?
Process of
Okay,
elimination.
but backstory. Okay, so I'm trying to make it short and sweet. I once had this kindergarten teacher, named Miss Medina. Yeah, she was my teacher in kindergarten.
Miss who?
Thought she was cool. Miss Medina. Miss
Medina. Oh God.
Medina.
Okay.
Like funky cold Medina. Anyway, like
Was that her name?
I knew you
I
were gonna
like
say
that.
that. I could.
yeah.
I,
There you go. But anyway,
Gold Medina.
I'm gonna try to keep it short though, because I thought she was cool. She was the coolest teacher, right? You know, as a kid, you like nice teachers, right? Cool, right? So years on, I think like when it was like high school years, I was working at a grocery store, bagger, and I saw her again, and she was happening to shop there, and I thought, hey. So I thought, yeah, she hadn't changed after all these years, and I'm like, yeah, okay. Yeah, she was pretty young. She was pretty young when she was my teacher in kindergarten. So yeah, yeah. I thought she was pretty alright.
Pretty alright. I
I don't know. I can't really say I had a hot teacher or whatnot. That's all. But like I thought,
okay, we need a description here, Pac-Man. Come on.
yeah,
What's she
I
look
mean,
Like?
hot
Color
is
hair,
like nothing.
Color
Color
eyes.
hair.
She's young, you said, which
Well,
is not normal for a kindergarten
well,
teacher.
she's Hispanic. She's kind of like, I'm not gonna mention skin. I'm not gonna do that. But she's Hispanic. She's about like my height. Brunette hair. I guess she had a few kids or a couple of kids, but I could steer away from that. It's fine. But she looked the same. Honestly, after all these years, she got older, but she still looked the same. Somewhat similar from when I saw her when she used to be my teacher. So yeah.
So how
So I'd
many
be-
years after would it have been? Like you
Shoot.
were in high school or something, or out of high school when you saw her?
This was out of high school. This was like
Okay.
already out of high
That's a
school.
while,
So
Good for her.
shoot. Yeah, I mean, yeah, she looks pretty young. She still looks kind of young even for her age. So yeah.
Love
Wait, what did she teach you? I don't think you went into that, did you?
Kindergarten.
Kindergarten.
Huh?
You
Kindergarten.
remember
Oh, yeah.
kindergarten? OMG.
Wow.
How?
Yeah,
How do you
I
guys
mean-
remember?
Here's the thing. I have some sort of like I don't want to say power or like I guess like I could remember people's faces. Like from then on, still remember like years on
Yeah,
end.
sometimes small town or people.
Yeah. If I see someone's face and somehow like it rings a bell in my head, like who are you? I think I've seen you before. Like I would, my brain just goes into Google mode and be like, okay, I know who you are.
It's funny though. I think when you're okay, like my kindergarten teacher, when I was about 20, 21, I worked in the same city that I grew up in. So my best friend, he lived down the street from me. His parents lived down, he grew up down the street from me, and we decided to go to the elementary school. And the teacher, my kindergarten teacher, was still there. She looked exactly the same, a little older, but we're talking, 15 years later, she looked exactly the same. She's still teaching kindergarten. It's just, her name is Mrs. Fields.
Oh,
Mrs.
And
like
it's
in the
amazing
cookie?
because
Just
she
kidding.
looks, I mean, I see her and I recognize her immediately.
oh.
And I told her, like, you're my kindergarten teacher. She's like, John. She knew who I was. Like,
Oh, wow.
but it's amazing, like you saying, Pac-Man.
Mm.
I could see what she looks like right now. It's I guess because when you're younger, you're kind of
Like you get older and like you kind of get a different perspective of that person. So it's like, yeah, you're nice. Oh, you're
yeah,
nice.
but I'm sure you'd recognize Miss Medina if you saw her today. No, I'm just saying.
yeah.
Funky Cole Medina.
Oh.
Just kidding.
You gotta do it in a deep voice. Funky cold Medina.
Like the other day, I looked up my Catholic elementary school, and I was like, because I was curious to see who's still teaching, There's like
Mm.
a handful of people names that I recognize, but they like shuffled it. Where like my second grade teacher, she's still there, but she's like a
Oh,
resource
yeah. They
teacher
do
or
that. They
something.
do that a lot in the elementary.
Mm.
That's why it's right multi-subject, so they can switch and they can go to any grade pretty much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
It'd be pretty hard to track for us guys because like, you know, sometimes like women's names change over time
Yeah.
for a
that's
specific
true.
reason.
That's true. Yeah, yeah.
So it's gonna be hard to track. So why are we creeping up on our teachers?
I don't know.
Why are we
Anyways,
talking about our teachers?
quit.
I'm just
Why?
curious.
Your Google's
I'm all
gonna be
searching
all
right now
jacked
for
up
that
now.
teacher as you get a picture of that my second
Well,
grade
like I
teacher.
follow the page for like my elementary school and like my high school on like Facebook or
At
something.
least my high school, but
Stalker,
yeah.
stalker. Just kidding. All right. We okay with this question? Did everybody answer?
Yes.
Yeah, you
Okay.
started. You were like, I can't wait.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay. That was me. True. All right.
I can't wait. Okay, let me stop stalking. Okay, next question. Let's moving on. No more stalking.
Almost stalking.
Stalker, no stalking.
Stalker, no
Stalker, no stalking. You know, Dora the Explorer.
It's stalking,
Swiper, no swiping.
stalking.
Okay, moving on. We're gonna go do a question from Crazy P.
Wait,
Crazy.
I thought we were gonna do a midway switch.
We haven't gone midway yet.
We
yeah,
have. I think we did two questions already, right?
No. We did one question. We're barely
Oh,
on the third.
My
Yeah.
goodness, we have a lot of
haven't-
ground to cover, y'all.
I know. I'm thinking, why don't we do the middle now, and then
Yeah.
we'll finish the questions then. That
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
We have 2 questions each person, but you know it's gonna be we'll be here for hours.
Yeah,
if
we'll
that's
be
the
here for
case.
like tomorrow. Pull up a chair, get your sleeping bag. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, everyone
What is
grab
it,
your
my turn?
jammies. It's gonna be an all nighter. No.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted
Yay.
to talk about their hot teachers.
Yeah. Hey.
Yeah, and stalking.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. And wonder where they're at right now.
Yeah. Where are
Yeah.
they now?
Where are they now? Do you still think of me?
Like, where
Or
are
is
you,
your
Mr.
heart belong
McBabe?
to someone else? Okay.
Oh.
No, yeah. If you got a crush, you gotta your hottest teacher. Put them in the
Put 'em in
chat.
the- oh
We'd love to
yeah,
see the
I
chat.
forgot to add that second question. So we'll move on, but I'm gonna add that second question. Sorry
Add
about
their
that.
link to their Facebook. No place-
Wait, who was that question? Oh, that was DJB. Okay. All right, I'm gonna add that.
Of course,
question.
it's DJB. Of course.
Of course, it's DJB.
Okay, so I assume
Oh,
it's my
snap.
turn.
No, we're gonna do the midway
We're
switch.
gonna take a break. Yeah, we're
Oh.
gonna do a switch. We're gonna do the middle.
Okay.
So we
Is it
are
my turn?
going to.
Yeah.
It's Riz's
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So-
Okay,
Hold on.
guys.
Let me
So-
get
turn.
the graphic for you.
Something
Hold
special
on.
here, guys.
You want me
Okay.
to
Got
do the
something
graphic
special.
now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's the. Right. Riz is low. Okay, hold on. Let me turn you up, Riz. They're saying that you're low. We can't hear you. I turned her up. You guys can't hear? Oh, let me turn it up a little bit more. Sound check, sound check, sound check. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm. Okay, go for it. Is he is he gonna pick it and then just keep it to himself and then we try to guess it? Yeah. Okay. What? Oh my gosh, I'm dying. I think he's I think he's visual cuz or no, rather, sorry, no, wait. I think he's mm, I I I I think he's I think he's I think he's K cuz he likes hands-on stuff like he likes when he goes and gets games, he plays it and he right? I think me K hands-on. That's me. Sorry. I did it as mixed talk. Yeah, yeah. Same. Yeah. 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 It's deep. Yeah. Yeah. Crazy K. There you go. Okay, I'm going to remind chat our questions. So here, okay? Guess the panelist learning style. Okay, let's see. I say, I think he's also K because especially with his with his auto what is it auto when his cars, right? He's learning by hands on. He's learning because he has to learn how to put things together. He has to learn how to take things apart. He has to learn. So I think K still, Johnny. Well, I still say K because even when he was in IT or IS or whatever he was doing computerish, it was still hands on. So I still say K. VR. What about chat? Okay. No. Okay, we have one for visual. DJB said V for visual. What about you? What about you, Pac-Man? Which is K. Yeah. So we have two Ks. Two Ks and two Vs. Yeah. 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 Oh, we were way off. Hmm. Right. Right. Wow. Interesting. Wait, are we still having audio issues? Everybody, can nobody else hear? I'm just curious because I mean my levels are bouncing, so I'm not sure why we're not hearing everybody, but I hear them loud and clear. I'm just saying. Anybody else? You may have to do a right click on every single one of us to turn up the volume, y'all. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Oh gosh. Yeah, it's hard. It's a really hard choice, but yes, I've thought of mine. What about you guys? Okay, hold on. Everybody's saying you guys sound low. Weird, because wasn't it working a minute ago, you guys? I mean, I don't understand how everybody could be low now. Weird. I. Mm, let me double check. Let me double check OBS real quick, y'all. That's weird because I literally. Hold on. Hold on. Where are we at right now? Oh, you're probably right. Just a second. Okay, hold on, y'all.
Annie's kind of a diva kind of actress. She kind of
Okay.
no, so role playing's like right up her alley. I can see
Mm.
why
Sure.
she needs to do it
Is that
Except
better?
for the
to
stunts,
do it.
except for
You
the
didn't have
tuck
to
and
say
roll.
diva.
Yeah. No, I meant like she's very like
Yeah.
animated and artistic in that sense.
Husky Man
Like
says they're
Yeah.
like
low.
part I
Yes.
Okay,
think part of
got
me
it.
why I think part of me why I'm auditory type of sense like I is because I used to be a musician, so I could hear something and it clicks, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they
Yeah.
can hear
Maybe
you guys
I
now.
use that
Okay.
same
Yay.
when I
We did
learn
it.
now.
Okay.
So
Okay, so we have two A's, two or one R. Who said?
I said K,
You said K. Okay, hold on.
Annie K.
So I'm going to type in the order in which I am. How's that? Okay. So this is. That's my order right there.
okay.
But I am.
So
I love auditory. I mean, because I do. Okay, so here's the thing: when I'm watching podcasts, when I'm listening to podcasts, I'm actually watching them. But most of the times, I have them either on here on my computer, playing, and then it's being broadcast on my on my Echo, or in my car. I'll have it playing in my car. But clearly, I can't watch the video right when you're driving, but I do hear it. So I am, and then oftentimes when I walk the dogs, I have it in my ears. So I am more A. I am definitely more auditory, but I use every single one of these. I use visual because I absolutely need the visual, especially when other people are talking. I need to be able to see charts and see what they're talking about oftentimes. But K, because I love hands-on, I definitely have to do. You learn by hands on, by practical, right? I love tangible and I love to be practical. I like to make sure that I can emulate what the instructors, or what the assignment is, and then last of all would be reading. But it doesn't mean that I don't like reading and writing. I love them all. It's just that oftentimes I will do everything else before I take to my notes and then maybe regurgitate what I just heard. So, and then I write the notes, or I read or write the notes. So it's all of those, but A, definitely A, and then B. Hence, why I went into AV, or on the practical side of public relations, I went into a minor of radio, TV, film, because I needed that AV, the audio visual. So yeah, there you go. You guys pegged me. Good one.
ding, ding,
Mm-hmm.
Ding,
cool.
ding, ding.
Okay.
Okay.
Who?
I was so off.
I mean,
Thank you for thinking I'm smarter than I am, but thanks.
Mhm.
uh,
Yes.
so next is DJ. So, I mean, y'all can.
Don't influence their answers
Okay,
yet.
I know.
Don't influence them.
I'm gonna
Okay,
let y'all.
I'm going to put this in chat again one more time. This is the guest panelist who were on DJB.
Oh, I can pin that for you.
Thank you.
Based on what you know of this
Mm.
person, what do you think his learning style is?
Okay, see, I think he's also audio visual because, he's in
Because he's in the
broadcast.
mix.
He's in
In the mix.
broadcasting, y'all. So I want to say maybe visual then auditory, then K,
I
and
just
then R.
remember when I made the open mic for Babyface 2 occasions, DJB did the duet with me without lyrics. So he's auditory.
Yeah, there you go.
Wow.
He's like, I'm gonna wing it. Even I didn't know the lyrics. In fact, when I got the lyrics, I'm like, oh, that's what he's saying. Crap.
That's that's one of
Yeah,
my
it's like you'll be
all-time favorite
surprised what the
songs.
lyrics are on two occasions. That song.
I like how we pick like random like bits of information
Yeah.
to base
Yeah.
something like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, I know one
See,
song.
this
Well,
is
it's true.
learning.
It's true.
We're
It's like
learning.
We're
we're learnings
learning.
about each
We're
other.
learning. Learning.
Okay, so we got a variety of answers here. We got Brandon says A, then K. Who said
Okay. So I don't see DJ a lot to know or figure if he's a visual person.
Me neither.
Um, from the history of
I
he's
say
how he
V.
was in school, like he kind of he had like a little struggle in school, so I'm assuming he's not really into the reading and writing portion of it. I'm assuming, but from what I noticed, right, from Annie and Johnny, since they're very musically inclined, and DJ is musically inclined, I would say that he's auditory. I'd say he's auditory.
Okay,
Okay.
so we got another A. So we got a visual,
Yeah,
an
he's
auditory,
secondary.
and another auditory.
Yeah, secondary.
And-
He maybe he may learn by doing, but I'd say he's more auditory.
Annie, what say you?
Oh, I said visual.
Okay. So I said visual. Uh, Johnny said auditory.
Pac-Man says
Pac-Man
auditory.
also said auditory.
What say you, Riz?
I want to say that I want to look this way because you're there, but then I feel like DJ's kind of also kinesthetic
Yeah,
out of all of these.
I mean, you should know, right?
because,
I guess. Yeah.
It's like,
yeah,
I don't
because it's just
know.
more
I
hands
don't
on.
know.
I don't know. I was like visual, like we both wear glasses, so that's not it, obviously. Auditory, I mean, well, yeah. Read, write, nah. I'm thinking kinesthetic. Okay, we have deliberated.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay, let's-
so we say V, or well, actually, yeah. So we have one V, two A's, one K.
Yes.
So what's the deliberation?
Deliberation.
Oh wow.
What's the verdict? I
Y'all are
should say.
fascinating because y'all are convincing me. Okay, maybe I'm not actually what I thought I was.
See, 'cause
Oh, snap!
So we
You're
decide
learning.
for you. You're learning about.
We're so
You're learning
influential,
about
aren't we?
yourself.
So my instinct was to say K because
Okay.
I'm a technician, know,
Right.
so I set things up. I I get
Right.
my hands on cables and equipment and put them together and all that stuff. But the way I prefer to learn overall is reading and writing. So I think everybody.
Oh.
So because I, especially in my
Boo.
job now, I deal with a lot of like very complicated
Sorry.
workflows, and the only way, like a lot of times people try to like explain it by okay, this is how you do the workflow. A lot of times in my job, like they do live streams and it's like, okay, this is how you um, uh, set up this particular software or whatever. But for me, I need the documentation where
Okay.
it's just written out exactly step by step what you need to do. That's the only way I really can learn these things. And Pac-Man, just to clarify, I wasn't a bad student. I was just
I didn't
bad
say
at
you're a
math.
bad student.
I wasn't bad at
There's
school.
a
I was just bad
struggle.
at math.
Right.
Miss
I
Luhan
actually
was
was
distracting.
very advanced in English. So
Ah.
I was actually
Okay.
like, I was actually a very good writer when I was in high school, and I was actually a writing
Okay.
tutor when I was studying at university. So really, if I want to learn something, I have to read something that's written really well, like
Okay.
something
Okay.
that Like
Okay.
I really enjoy reading people's essays and stuff like that because if they explain things well, but
Yeah.
yeah, and when I really need to learn something, I need to take notes. So
Ah.
for me, yeah, I need to really learn reading and writing.
I don't know. I mean, people struggle in classes, but I didn't say you sucked in English. I mean,
Ha.
I
Well, no,
mean,
but
yeah,
you
but
said like, oh, well, DJB said he was a
uh,
bad student,
He
so
low key said, no, just kidding.
DJB struggled in school, so
Yeah. Well, you live and you
uh,
learn. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
huh? Now
I
I'm
ain't no
thinking.
bad student. I never.
no, I know
And
it.
before your bridges burn, you got to live and learn.
Wow. We'll put that on
Another
the.
D.
So.
But
That should be on a shirt.
Joe Public.
auditory though, I'm sorry, but honestly, people will tell me something, and I did not hear a single word of it. Like I'll be sitting in front of somebody, and they'll be
Me
talking, telling me a
too.
story,
Me
and I
too.
just like, oh, I spaced out, even though I was looking directly at this person and nodding while they were talking to me. I just did not catch anything they told me.
Did you hear what I
It's true.
said? Did
No,
you hear what I
no,
said?
no.
Did you hear what I said?
Well,
I'm
you
just
got to
kidding.
understand that
Yeah.
no one can learn just from one of these type. I mean,
Right.
True,
there's always a
true.
True.
combination depending on the subject matter. Like I give you an example. If I email you something and I talk to you on the phone and it's verbatim, what is message and what is you can't get the tone I'm really using. You may get the wrong tone by reading the email, but you get the right tone when you actually talk to me on the phone. You know what I
Yeah.
Sure.
mean? So
Yeah.
there's certain
That's
information that doesn't go through properly. You may get a
yeah.
completely different idea from reading what I'm requesting or the steps than when I'm on the phone with you walking you
Mm.
through each step. So,
You,
but
you, you,
John.
you,
I think
you,
it's always a combination. No one can learn from just one of those.
you
It's
really
just
are just.
what do you
Mhm.
which one do you naturally like learn best from? You know, it's a
Mhm.
preference really.
You're learning the principles of PR or public relations or or communications because it's the message that it's a message and it's how it's been transmitted and how it's being received. So
Mhm.
each of us receive the message differently. And that's your learning style. So
Well,
it's definitely the principles of principles of
I mean,
PR.
like I give an example. What pisses me off is like on my classes I'm taking, you know, I have to go in there and we work on the cars, we pull engines out, we do all this stuff. But we also have to do our classwork at home, and it's a lot of work. So one part of it is going into class for 3 hours and overhauling the cars, and then when we're during that week, we're also doing a lot of classwork. And what I notice is I read everything. I
Mm.
read all the chapters and I go
Nice.
to take the test, and it didn't even cover that in the reading. So it's a bunch of BS sometimes.
Right.
Yeah, it's like it tricks you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I do all the reading. Like I don't slack off on anything because I have the
mm,
time now, luckily. Um, but yeah,
Nice.
it doesn't always work out that way. You can do all the reading, you
Yeah.
know, do all the visual, you know, grab all the charts, whatever. But when you get to actually take the test, they don't cover that at all. They cover something they didn't cover. It kind of is ridiculous. Anyways, just me
yeah.
bitching and harping. Sorry.
No,
It's all good. I
no.
know we could go through mine quick, and then I know we have a couple more questions, and
Yeah, we
Okay.
got to power
that'll
through the
be
last
the
two questions.
yeah,
Okay, go
We
ahead.
did one round at least.
that'll
Yeah.
be the yeah.
Yeah.
But so yeah. What do you guys think is my
Okay,
learning
let
style?
me see.
Mm.
I think for Riz,
What random piece of bit of information about me will you base this on?
um, I think
Just
I say reading. I say R for me, only because she's she's a marketing person. So maybe visual now. Hold on, I'm changing it to visual. I think visual because she's marketing. So she's by the way, you guys, she's the genius behind all the graphics stuff. So everything that you see on social media for mixed talk and then all our overlays and all this is the genius of Rizaline.
Everything.
So please,
I pull stuff
Mm,
from the
hand
internet.
good
Yeah.
a round of applause
You
for
know,
Rizaline.
I I feel wisdom is very overall, so I'm just gonna wait for a DJ to
That's cheating.
That's cheating.
No, I'm kidding.
Johnny,
Uh,
what do you say? I say V.
I put R,
Oh, R.
reading
Okay,
and
okay.
writing,
Reading, writing.
just because I saw all the stuff she put into our Mix Talk Live podcast for
True.
this week. It's
Well,
like,
this
whoa, it's a lot.
I pulled that from the internet, but
No, I know, but you know what it means, and you like, it's a lot. I just,
it's true.
I'm making assumptions here, you know.
That's okay. This is a safe space.
Okay. So,
No answer is
Riz,
no
if I'm
answer is a
no
wrong,
wrong
assumption.
answer.
if I'm wrong, Riz, I'm sorry.
No answer is a wrong
I
answer.
will hold it against.
There's
I
no
will
wrong
hold it against
answers.
all of you.
Okay, Pac-Man.
Oh, we're not going with DJ. Okay.
The one thing we don't like is dead air. Just kidding. Just kidding. Just
Oh
kidding.
yeah. We. Oh no, you're right.
No
You're right,
dead
you're
air.
right. I'd say, like I said, I think she's a little more overall. It's pretty hard. It's pretty tough to actually. Um, yeah, I have a color wheel in my head right now. I would say she's more of a V.
Visual.
We have another
This is more
vote for V.
visual, if any. No, I think she's an R.
So you're changing your answer to R?
I think she's an A.
What?
OMG.
No. Actually, she's an R. She's a V.
Mm.
R. I stick with R.
There you go.
My bad if
Yeah,
I messed up. I
yeah,
mean,
So
like,
R?
I
I
So
just
we-
can't.
Okay.
You know. Yeah.
So we have 1 V, 2 R's so far. Okay, there we go. That's this current standing right there. Okay, what say you, DJB?
Yeah, for me, it's either between visual or read and write. I know Rosaline, she takes a lot of notes, and she's been reading a lot of books lately, but she is a very visual person. She likes aesthetic stuff. She likes advertising is all about like the what grabs your attention visually and the colors and all that stuff. And Rosaline likes colors um, and so and like yeah, visual aids are always helpful,
Yeah.
especially in advertising. Uh, uh, I took an advertising course as an elective, and I had Rosaline make my PowerPoint for me.
That's true. You made me write some stuff. You made me do some.
Cheater. Cheater. I
Okay,
retract
well,
your I
So
retract your
that's
grade.
my I believe most. I'm gonna say a V, but
Okay.
there is a little bit of R in there.
Okay. So we have
I mean,
Knew
what
it.
came
I'm done.
what came to mind for me with this is like when I talk to people, like I will remember like random stuff that they details that they've shared where it's like, oh, you said you were gonna watch a concert with your daughter. How did that go? Like, but
mhm.
and I thought that was like auditory, but I think I'm gonna agree that it is like reading and writing because it's true. Like
Wow.
I
Okay.
like I do take like to take notes or like have a piece of paper and just like doodle and like write stuff down. The notes aren't probably very good. But yeah, and then I do like I have been reading. Well, reading it's just more the writing part of it. So
Mhm.
yeah.
All
Cool.
right.
Oh, so
Cool.
you wouldn't say you're a visual?
I mean, yeah, that too, because I do like graphic, like
Okay.
infographic. But
Alright.
I'd say like reading slash writing, and also like auditory.
Very
Nice.
cool.
I
But
like
I,
it.
but I do notice sometimes, like just like me, I space out when I try to hear things.
Mm-hmm.
So like if I hear it like 3 minutes, afterhand, I'm like, oh, what'd you say?
Hmm.
So I'll admit I do have like selective hearing. So.
Well, that was a good
Yeah.
exercise, y'all. Thank you for participating in chat too. Appreciate it. All right.
It's amazing. I wonder if it's just kind of off subject a little bit, but with advancing in technology, because I think Riz or Annie, I think you Annie, you said that you can't look at your video or your podcaster on when you're driving, but you can listen to it.
Right.
In that sense, that technology is driving people's learning in different ways.
Yeah.
Because I used to always listen to KFI radio,
Mm-hmm.
AM,
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
AM
940.
radio.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's entertaining. Because I'd have a long drive home, and what? It's something to learn about the news and learn about what's going on without reading it. You know, because a lot of people they don't even read the news. They read the headline.
Right.
They don't
Yep.
even know what the article says. It could be
Yeah.
completely counter what the headline says, but they want to summarize for most people aren't going to read it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't check the sources too.
Right.
Yeah, they're like,
The
"Oh, I saw
details.
that. Do you read the article?" No. And it's complete opposite. It's talking about why it isn't that. It's just
Yeah. So
I
like the way that we take in
consume.
information has changed,
Right.
especially
Yeah.
in the last couple
Mm-hmm.
years, decade or so.
True.
Oh yeah. I think so.
So in a couple years, we're gonna come back and we're gonna do this again,
Oh my
and then
God.
Be
our
like, I
learning styles will
changed.
change.
That's my eyesight goes. I can't read or write, so I'm. It's true. My eyesight's gotten
uh,
really bad over the last 3-4 years. Like I have to wear reading glasses just to read. It's bad. It's just getting old sucks. What can I say?
we're
Okay.
building a time capsule.
We got a couple more questions, right?
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think
let's
we got to
move
So,
power
on.
through these, y'all.
Yeah, let's go because
one word answer.
Yes.
one word answers. Okay, we left off with Pac-Man.
Mhm.
Um, did you want to go ahead and with your question?
Okay, let's see. Something that'll be short and sweet. Okay, so from high school until now, like, what have you learned about yourself?
Ooh. That's a deep question. You have all
Let's
day?
do it. Let's go.
No, just kidding.
Okay, so since someone's really excited about it, I'll go with Rizzling.
Wait, is this
What?
question 4?
Yeah, for Rizzling.
It's
No, I
for
know.
all of us,
I
but
think.
I know,
I
but
can start it.
Okay, there.
yeah,
Question
just
4.
start it.
So
Yeah.
it's from high school until now. What have you learned about yourself? Ah, shucks. Um, I mean, at this point, I feel like I'm really different from who I am in high school. So like,
Mm-mm.
I'm the like extrovert converted into an introvert. Um, but like, I think I've learned, and maybe like high school, like I kind of had more of like a one track mind of like this is how people should be and this is how things should be. But yeah, now it's like it's not like that. And that is okay. Like
Mm-hmm.
I probably expected myself to be a certain way in high school, but now and I'm not exactly like that. But it's good. I'm okay with that. That's my answer. Put that on a t-shirt.
So like a little more open, like open-minded as you get older,
Mm-hmm.
right? Yeah. Okay. Well, who wants to go?
I'll go.
You go. All right.
Okay, so in high school, I thought when I graduated, I thought I was gonna go do musical theater on Broadway. It didn't happen. I did do singing. I did do some semi-professional stuff with Disney and all that. So I can say that I'm a professional singer. But I didn't want it. I didn't. I hate auditioning, so I didn't want to make that my life. So then I went back to school after the kids got married, all that business. I went back to school and I went back for so I consider myself a lifelong learner. So those of you who know me and those I just had a recent conversation with somebody just about this that I'm a lifelong learner. I love to learn. I love to learn. So I went to cosmetology school.
Oh, nice.
I went to I took theology a long time ago. I did now, comm major, PR. Now I've like different things, experiences in my life. It's just because I feel I'm more marketable, I guess, learning more and having. Do you remember that old show with Monty Hall? It was called Let's Make a Deal. Do you guys remember that show? So
Mm,
some you young ones probably don't
I
know
was
anything about it. It's called Let's Make a Deal, and oftentimes he would go. These people would be dressing up in the audience, and they would try to get attention, Monty Hall's attention, and then he would say, "I'll give you $100 if you have a safety pin in your bag." So they would pull it out, and they'd scream, and they get $100. So the idea was to always have like a bag full of stuff. And that's kind of how I saw my life growing up, is like I didn't want to just do one thing. I wanted to learn a lot of different things, because if called upon, I could say yes, I could do that. So and having done that in all the different lives, I guess, if you would, from musical theater to comm to broadcasting. I really wanted to be a broadcast journalist. I wanted to learn. I wanted to be the person, the man on the street reporting from a fire or something, or whatever, hard news. And then I realized I didn't like hard news, so I wanted to do soft news. And then I liked entertainment, so I wanted to do entertainment news. So it was a whole bag of everything. So a lifelong learner, I'm constantly always wanting to learn different things. And now, having gone with my 21-day hiatus, my 21-day fast, I discovered I wanted to do ministry, and it's something that I didn't do way back when I was when I was a worship leader, singing, in churches a long, long time ago. It's beyond that. I really feel like I have the gift to want to do ministry, so that's my new step. So I don't think it's a trend. I think it's more of like, I think this is a calling. So I've learned since high school that I will never stop learning. I will always want to keep learning. And, I don't like to consider myself a know-it-all, but I do. So, I'm kind of, if asked, I would maybe have an answer for you, hope to have an answer for you. So that's me. That's me in a nutshell. I'm a lifelong learner, and I always want to just, just a wealth of knowledge, I guess, if you would. So that's the person that I think I've discovered about myself. And, I didn't start really delving into other types of learning and education and career changes until after I got divorced, sadly. So it was like I found my voice, and I found who I am. I found my identity. So all that happened in the last 7 to 8 years. So that's kind of that. So if anything I learned about myself is that I love to learn, and I'm a lifelong learner.
That with you, like, I mean, it's how long have I known you now? Since like
4 years,
2019.
yeah.
So it's like 4 years, but
Yeah.
it's like there's so much like the trend right now is like calling things like eras. Like
Yeah.
you're very like transformation. Like there's you're doing all these different things, and like I think that's really cool.
Yay. I'm a transformer.
Yeah, more than meets
Transformer.
the eye.
Yeah, more than
Robots
me.
in disguise.
She's also a robot.
I'm
That
an
makes
ally.
sense.
Okay, I'm gonna go next if that's okay. I agree with
Yeah, go
Annie.
for it. Man.
I used to have a teacher in college, and she would say, "You know what? Too many people they think they take this path,
Yeah.
they have to follow this path wherever it may end." And she used to instill on us that her students, that is, she would instill in us that you can do many things in your lifetime. She used to be a go-go dancer. She became a psychologist. She became a teacher. I mean,
Dope.
just because you choose this path doesn't mean you have to stay on it, or that you're stuck on it, or like
Hmm.
there's no way to turn back or to mix it up or change it. It's like sometimes you get burned out on stuff. Um, Sometimes you just need a break from it. Sometimes you really want to pursue other stuff as you get older. You change. So yeah, I totally agree with Annie. Like,
Mhm.
you're never too old to learn
Right.
new things and to constantly be learning. And the thing that I learned from high school is that I learned that procrastination is not a major in education. I was a terrible procrastinator, and I took pride in it, like it was something to be proud of. And I got pretty good grades, but I could have done so much more if I just took the time and been more responsible as a high schooler. Something that I do now. I take a lot of pride in the work that I do, and I do the work. I don't try to half-ass it at the last minute.
Mm.
Yeah,
Nice.
I can see
Good
that
answer.
about you for sure.
Good answer.
Oh yeah, definitely. Okay, let's go to DJB Remix. You didn't answer this, did you?
No,
Okay.
very profound question, Pac-Man.
Indeed.
Let me rub
Indubitably.
my beard.
Indubitably.
Indubitably.
Indubitably. Oh, snap.
Indubitably.
From high school until now, it's always so interesting because it's like when you're in high school, it feels like that's your whole life. Like, and after high school is, I don't know, not as on your mind. So it's
Mm-hmm.
interesting, like how people transition from high school into whatever they become. If they become like a tween who's kind of still stuck in their high school mindset, or if they jump into adulthood really early. I think that there's two things that come to mind for me. One, something that I learned in my early 20s, um, is something that I still think about to this day, and it's that life comes in seasons.
Right.
It, that there are times in your life where you'll have a best friend, you know what I mean, or you'll have somebody that means a whole lot to you. um and I grew up like with faith. My dad was a pastor, like I mentioned
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
um before, and so like I always believed, like growing up I always believed that, like, that God puts people in your life, or that
Mm-hmm.
there's people that you're meant to meet. There's people that, or there's situations that you're meant to go through. Um, but when, say, a certain individual leaves your life, you know, I started to question, like, why were they even in my life in the first place? You know what I mean?
They're passerbys.
Yeah, and that was really difficult for me to reconcile that when I was that young. And like, as my like 20s progressed, I realized, like, yeah, life comes in seasons. It's like, just because someone wasn't meant to be in your life forever doesn't
Right.
necessarily mean they weren't meant to be in your life. They were just there for a season or two. um or just because you're going through something really difficult, it doesn't mean
Mm-hmm.
that your life is going to be difficult. It just means that this particular point in your life is a difficult season, and there will be a better season um, in the future, and there may be more difficult seasons. So that was one big thing that I learned. And the other thing really is that, uh, especially, I mean, we're all on Twitch, like we all make content of some sort. We um uh and as like, we would love to have like this huge following, of course, because we put a lot of effort into what we make, and it's
Right.
an expression of ourselves. um but does numbers mean that it's worth it? And I had to and I learned, like, very quickly and very early on, that no, it's not about the numbers. Like, especially in this day and age where it's all about, like, how many followers you have. Like, people equate their importance of their life with, like, whether they have a check mark on Twitter, or X, I guess now you have to say, or like
Mm-hmm.
Instagram or something like that. If you're verified,
Right.
if you're a partnered streamer, that means you're a successful streamer. I
Mm-hmm.
think that,
Right.
no, what one lesson that I learned, um, uh, about myself, is that, what I if I'm proud of what I put out there, if I'm doing something that, like, makes me proud of my craft,
Mm-hmm.
then it's worth it. It doesn't matter how many people receive it or don't receive it. It's like, it's an expression of yourself, and the people that matter are going to receive it.
Right.
And there will be people that receive it. It's just, it's like, if I feel like, if I put my heart into what I do more than anything. Like I don't want to lose it because I'm chasing numbers. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's something that I learned about myself in more recent years, especially like because of doing things on Twitch.
Hmm.
Right.
Thank you, Brandon. I appreciate that you appreciate that.
Profound words. No,
Yeah, that's
there's a
very
lot of truth.
deep, man.
There's a lot of truth to that. You know,
Mhm.
it's like who wants to have big numbers and be miserable every time you go stream?
Right.
Because they're
Mhm.
doing it not because they're enjoying it or because of the community or trying to make a difference. They're just trying to get numbers. It's just
Mhm.
it's a yeah, it goes against the whole spirit of it, you know. If
Mhm.
you don't enjoy, and then if you don't enjoy it when you're doing something, it shows one way or another, you know.
Right.
Hmm.
That was very profound,
Yeah,
DJ,
That's
but
very
very,
deep.
I
Yeah,
get it.
very.
that actually struck a chord, like
Yeah.
right, struck a real big chord.
Is it because you're an
Uh,
auditory learner?
no, I'm more of a doer, so
He's
I'm more,
I'm
I'm more of
sorry.
a doer. That's why I fail so many times along the way. Um, but yeah, those are actually really good, cool answers, especially that one, DJ. Let's see what I've learned about myself since high school. Well, it's kind of a combination between everyone's answers. Like maybe somehow in high school I could have done better, and it's the reason why up to right now I'm still going to school and just trying to learn new things. That's basically what I've learned about myself. Like back then I was just a one path guy. This is what I want to do, but at the same time, it's kind of like, am I sure I want to do this? Like I wasn't really sure about this. And along the way, a wise guy told me, which is my sibling, he he was told that there's something that you ought to do, and there's a certain thing that you want to do. So, in his life, like he wanted to. Well, he first off he worked at a retail store. He's like a business guy, right? Like, cool. He's always to me. He's always known to be a um he's really good when it comes to business. But along the way, he went to medical school with his then girlfriend. So
Oh,
that's his thing that he ought to do. The business thing was what he wanted to do.
Hmm.
So he gave me that idea. Along the way, it just kind of came a little more clear to me. Like I just don't want to just do one thing, like you know,
That's me.
for the rest of my life. Yeah, like okay, like I'm interested in engineering, right? But like I'm still kind of like okay, like I'm very math oriented, but there's just certain things I want to do other than just engineering. I know engineering you can earn a lot of money, but like am I gonna be happy about it? But and there I go again. I'm going back
Uh-huh.
to school, just trying to figure things out. So, I mean,
So you're a
as long
lifelong
as
learner too. Just
yeah,
kidding.
I mean I learned that I'm willing to learn different things rather than just stick with one thing, you know. But I might get back to that one thing that I've always wanted to. It's been a while, but still, I I'm this kind of guy who likes to keep his options open. What I wants to do, like because
Nice.
I'm interested in doing like multiple things. I just can't do like one thing all the time. I get bored. So yeah.
Nice. Good answers. Good answers, everybody.
all y'all been in school more recently. All of y'all.
Yeah.
Did it, did
Um,
everybody answer the question?
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, we
Okay.
did.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
I think we're
Okay, we
Last
got
question.
one
last
down.
question. We're gonna go through
Yes.
this quick,
No,
okay, guys? Running a little late.
it's
Okay,
okay.
so this is my question. I'm gonna answer it first. The question is: do you feel like a traditional education bachelor's degree is worth it today? And would a traditional degree be worth more than going to a trade school in today's world?
All right.
I wanna.
So
Here's the
I'm
question
gonna
right there.
cut and
I
paste that
could. I
into
could get into
chat.
it too.
Pin that. Pin that. GJ.
Yes, I got it.
Cool. Cool.
Yeah, I put it.
Oh, thank you.
Nice. Look at us.
So, do you feel like a traditional education bachelor's degree is worth it today? Would a traditional degree be worth more than going to a trade school in today's world?
You wanted to
Um,
go first?
Yeah, I'm gonna go first. So
Get on your soapbox, Johnny. Tell us.
yes and no. Yes and no. I'll explain why. I have a degree in computer science, and I worked alongside some great programmers, right? Like, and a lot of them had no formal education. They don't have a degree. They never really went to college for it, but they're really good at it. But they get screwed because they don't get the higher salary. It's harder for them to advance.
Right.
Doesn't matter how good their skill is. So I think it's a yes and no answer. Generally, you're going to have a lot more opportunity having a bachelor's degree in a lot of different fields, just not computers. It could be communications. It could just be in a lot of fields. You're going to have more opportunities. With the prices going up and up at the university, sometimes it's not worth it, if you're going to end up paying a lot of money back into it. Um, so it depends. Obviously, you want to pick a field that is going to pay you well, that you can live off of it and not be struggling. So sometimes a trade school may be the answer. It depends. Whatever you do, decide you want to make sure you're going to have opportunities in that field, you know? So it's a yes and no answer for me. It just depends on what field did you really want to get it, you really want to pursue, and if getting a bachelor's is affordable to you or not. So that's my answer. Let's go to Annie Talks. Annie Talks. Do you feel
Okay.
like traditional education,
So
bachelor's, is worth it?
I'm like you, yes and no. But remember, I answered my other question by being a lifelong learner. In that, I started doing musical theater. Then I got that degree. Then I went to com and I got that degree. So yes, because it gives you the full immersive experience in those fields, but at the same time, no, because I feel like um, I don't want to be tied to just that. You know what I mean? So I want to keep learning something else or keep learning other things. So I wasted a lot of money, student loans and whatnot for com, and I went from public relations to com, and so yeah, that I thought it was wasteful. I probably shouldn't have, but at the same time, it's like, but if I didn't do it, then where would I be? Because I don't know if I would be who I am right now. I literally think it needed to happen. I had to go through. I think that road was already predetermined for me, by heavenly intervention. But I feel like that road was already predetermined for me. I needed to go through those, paths to get to where I am now, because I wouldn't, without that, I don't think I would be able to be as savvy here, right? But
Well, you bring up a good point, because as expensive as college is,
mhm,
if you change your major, you're adding so much more expense.
sure.
It really, if you're gonna
True.
go into a field, it's best you try to find a friend or someone you trust that can show you the job.
Mhm,
Maybe even go to them to work to see what it's like,
true.
so that you know what it's like. You're not kind of, you graduate and then you get a job and you're like, I don't want to do this.
I
This is
say
not what I
unless
thought.
you get a scholarship to a 4-year university, then I say there's nothing wrong with going community college and getting your AA, right, and then transferring, because that's the route I went initially after I got my music degree. But there's nothing wrong with, it's designed, it's in place there for you, so you could take advantage of that and pay less, right, or sometimes even free tuition at the community college level. So I say yes and no too, but I say for everybody, decide for yourself, and even if it means taking some time off before going back to school or going into school, just there's no one way, right? Your path could be different than my path, but you literally just have to go with your passion, with your gut. I put everybody behind me. Everybody was wanting to do one thing and go this route, and I said, I'm gonna go this route. And that was always the kind of person that I was. That was my learning style. I always wanted to do something different than what other people would do, and maybe not as traditional as I'd liked it to be. But I say yes and no.
Yeah, I mean, this group is definitely a good mix
Yeah.
talk of
Live?
that.
Mixed talk.
Um, well,
Wait a
I
minute,
mean,
hold on. I got something for this.
I will say, so I work. I
There
mean,
you go.
my job is basically to try to sell people on getting a degree, a bachelor's or a master's
Sure.
degree. So in that way, I mean, it's important to me. But
Choose your words carefully. You know, your boss might be
I
listening.
know. I mean, I think what did uh CT Husky had said something in the chat that was um traditional education works for some but not others, and it depends on what kind of learner you are. Like, I mean, I did like the straight 4 years in college and all that stuff, but now it's like there's so many different ways to get into your career or into your job. So
True.
I yeah. I'm more I used I mean I and again, like how I was saying in the other question, I thought it was like you have to do it this way and follow this path. But now I'm like, I mean, people do these things differently. And for me, like DJ was like taught me that a lot because his path of education and career is different from mine.
Mm.
And that's what we talk about too. We're like, when we have kids, we're like, well, you have different options, but you got to be doing something. Like, we can't just have you not doing anything and
Mm-hmm.
make money somehow. But yeah,
It's a
it's
balancing act,
hmm
definitely. Yeah,
It
it
is.
is. But I
so the
mean,
traditional way is expanding for sure.
but if you're gonna take education seriously, you want to find, like it's hard to say this, but life with money makes life easier for the most
Sure.
part. So
That's
if you're gonna
that's true
pursue
too.
and get a huge student loan, do it in a field that's gonna be that you can take advantage of and that's going to benefit you. I'm not saying you have to, oh, I want to be an architect, I got to be this because you
Right.
get X amount of money. No, do something that you're passionate about, that where you, when you're at work, it doesn't feel like work for the most part.
Yeah,
But
and also
you want to pick a field that there's opportunities
yeah,
everywhere. Like
and
like
also, I mean,
go ahead.
well,
Sorry.
for me too, I mean, my job is like to also promote like master's degrees because at this point, a lot of people have bachelor's. Well, a lot of people have bachelor's degrees, and it's like now it's like if you have a master's, then that's more of something, and if you have like a doctorate or like a PhD, like so, and it's. I mean, yeah, it depends on the field, but it is still an investment. Like an education
Mm-hmm.
I
is
thought about
still
getting my
an
master's in
investment.
computer science, but hardly anyone does that unless you're going to
No.
be like a rocket
Management.
I
scientist.
just don't
If
see
you're,
how
I want to
practical
get a
it is.
master
Yeah.
someday.
um,
Yeah, any higher you go, like they can't afford you.
Yeah, exactly. Especially
yeah,
in our
then
That's
then,
city.
then
crazy.
they turn you down for the opposite reason. Well, we really
Yeah,
can't afford you, Mister
you're good.
PhD.
Yeah,
Doctor
you're good. You're
Doctor
great, but we can't afford
Doctor
you.
Rico, sorry,
They
we just
hire
wanted to
people
call
from
you in.
Upwork. Just kidding. Huh? Or Fiverr. Just kidding.
The
Oh,
benefit of a
sorry.
master's is at least you can go into like education. If
Yeah.
if you have to, if you can't find a job in the field that you want, at
You
least you
can
can
teach.
teach. Yeah,
True. Those that
That's true.
can't do teach.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 Oh.
right.
And then
It,
somebody will think they're hot.
Yeah.
oh. And then they'll get fired for inappropriate behavior with a student.
You'll have an interesting name by them too.
Yeah, seriously. You'll be hot
Yeah.
teacher. Okay, who's
Yes.
left? So we
Well,
can wrap this up.
okay, I can add. I want to add that back to like the student loan discussion. Like,
Mm-hmm.
as someone who went back to school later in life, like after I'd been working for a while, I remember looking up online saying like the if you're deciding like to have a student loan, they said that look up what career you would want, like the careers that you are hoping to get after college or after you graduate, and make sure you don't take out more than half of what the average yearly salary would be.
Mm.
Math.
Yeah. So like, because if you get like $100,000 in student loan debt, and you're going to get paid 40,000 a year, that's just not feasible. It
Right.
just, unfortunately. Um But so for for me, I knew that I had really poor job opportunities. Like I was applying to a lot of places because I had a really bad a shitty AV job in 2016, 2017, and I couldn't get like any interviews anywhere else. So uh I ended up getting a job at a college which was very good for me, but I wasn't getting paid anywhere close to
Right.
livable wages. So for that, at that point I was like, well, I'm at this college all the time, I might as well, like, try to see what I can do about my education. And I went back to school, and like, and then I graduated, and then a month later, like, I was able to get multiple job offers. It was kind of crazy, but the good thing though for me is that going through like getting my degree, I was able to I had the structure, I had uh mentors, like I targeted like specific professors that could really like give me the information that I needed, like to look at my work and to look at what I'm good at and help me find like what a good career path would be for me. And that was invaluable. um and so I really think that for me it was the right call to go back to school,
Nice.
and get a degree. However, like Johnny was saying, my job, I'm one of the few people at my level in my job that have an actual bachelor's degree. All of them,
Silicon Valley.
most of them, yeah, tech industry for you. Most of them, like, uh, didn't. They just have like some certifications and stuff like that, and most of them just in the tech industry. It's like a lot of the billionaires, dropped out of college.
Mhm.
Look at like uh,
Yes.
Zuckerberg and Bill Gates. So yeah, it's so in a lot of ways, like the tech industry is like, we don't really care too much about your degrees, but still,
Mm-hmm.
I think the answer is whatever gets your foot in the door,
There you go.
whatever you can get, whatever you need to
Yeah.
put yourself forward. That's the right answer. It could be
Well,
a
I
degree
used
for
to.
you, could be something else.
I'm like you, DJ. Like I was working right out of high school. I didn't go to college for another 7, 8 years. Like I just wanted to start working it, and I worked hard. I used to have 3 jobs at the same time. I
Wow.
worked at Starbucks, I worked at Sears, and I worked at Budget Rent a Car, all at the same time, working 30 hours each job. And
You're
what I
crazy.
learned was the harder you work, the more they screw you tax wise. I mean, I would have no time to cash my checks. I'd have a pile of
Oh
checks,
my goodness.
payroll checks, and that's later on is when I decided to go back to
Direct
school.
deposit. Just kidding.
But like you said, having a degree, I would get calls from places I didn't even apply for that wanted to do an interview just because I had a bachelor's in computer field.
Mm,
Mhm.
So
right.
that was a first. And
And
you have
also
a higher.
the industry at that time is different from how it is now too.
Well, I graduated right after 9/11. It was not a good time for the industry. So many of the bubbles
Yeah.
bursted for the
Mm,
economy. I
Yeah.
right.
mean, we had teachers that were quitting, starting their own .com, and were like, "I'm going to be a millionaire," and they lost everything.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
.com era.
Yeah, because there was a huge like if you were if you had any kind of degree in IT back before 2001, you were like, oh, everyone wanted to hire you. Everyone wanted you. They're going to give you company stocks, huge salary, signing bonus. And then when 9/11 happened, everything changed. I mean, it was a struggle even for people with master's degrees. But it eventually got better. So
And then 2008.
Yay!
Eh,
More recession.
yeah, we had 5 good years, and then well, okay, let's be honest. 2008, when you get a mortgage, if you're lucky enough to get your own house and to buy your own property, when you go to sign that big stack of paperwork, you should hire a lawyer to go with you and just review some of that stuff.
mhm.
Seriously, You're going to spend a good 4 hours or signing stuff. Have a lawyer, just pay him, whatever his per diem is to help you go through that stuff because they put a lot of crap in those mortgage loans
Mm.
just to screw you over, basically. So
All right.
that's
When we
my
buy a
advice.
house, I'm gonna have you look at our paperwork, Johnny.
I'm not a lawyer. No,
Yes,
don't.
please see my
I'm
attorney,
just saying
Mr.
I
Freaking
would.
Rico.
Yeah.
Or Mr. McBabe.
Bro, he was a science teacher. I don't know what he's gonna tell me about.
You never know.
No,
He
look
could
up
be
my
a lawyer
Look up my piano teacher, Robert Loisel. Just kidding.
or a
Just kidding.
funky cold Medina.
There you. Or Miss
Miss
Luhan.
Luhan.
There you
All
go.
about Miss Luhan.
Miss
My day
Medea.
one.
Lohan or Lohan.
Yes. The answer is yes.
All right.
Okay.
So yeah,
All right. So, okay. So, unlike you guys have your bachelor's degrees, right? So, for this answer, let's see. I'll just go one by one here. Do I feel the traditional education bachelor's degree is worth it today? I can't say much about it right now because I don't have a bachelor's, but I'm going after it. So in my case, I would say it's worth it only because it's self gratifying to the point where like I actually got me a bachelor's degree.
Sure.
But when it comes to maybe going out there and finding a job, like I said earlier, like I've heard so many stories how one would have, well, like you guys, like, or I've heard a lot more stories where they get to apply to many companies because of their qualifications, and they're like, oh, you're overqualified, or either that we can't afford you, or
Mm-hmm.
they just ended up not getting the job. So, in a sense, if it's for self gratification, I think it would be worth it when I get to that point. But when it comes to monetary, it's dicey. It'd be 50-50. I mean, you never know. Some people get lucky and actually get the job with whatever they're qualified for, and yeah. Would a traditional degree be worth more than going to a trade school? Like I say, like I think there's actually chances of getting a job after going through trade school because you're actually learning a specific skill for that specific job. So I mean, it may be worth it that case, and maybe hey, you have more of a chance of getting your foot in the door, that way. So
I think trade
yeah,
schools get a bad rap, because
they do.
Yeah.
everyone wants to have a degree or a master's and be the person to the office ordering everyone what to do. In reality, is you ain't gonna be doing that right out of college,
Mhm.
Right.
unless
Yeah.
you went to Harvard or somewhere. You're not gonna
Mhm.
be the one calling the shots, doing the big meetings. You're gonna be the newest person in the office doing the stuff nobody wants to do.
You're
And
just
Unless
yeah.
with a
unless nepotism.
oh
Oh.
yeah, unless daddy owns a company, yeah, it's a different
Yeah.
Yeah.
story. But
Money.
with a trade school, they get bad rap. But a trade school, you know what? You could get your certification or a degree even quicker because the classes are kind of like you got to take this, you got to take
Mhm.
that. It's got like the positive, quick direction. And like Pac-Man says, you're doing one specific type of trade, so you don't
Mhm.
have to do a lot of other classes that. I'm not
They
saying
don't
they're
pertain
not
to it.
good
Really much.
classes, but they don't pertain to it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it depends. I think it really comes down to, you know, are you cool with being a welder or being a mechanic or being a plumber, or being an electrician? If that's something you want to do, that's probably the quickest path. And gonna give you the least amount of student debt too. That's important.
Mm-hmm.
Longer it
Focus.
takes, because sometimes you'll be trying to get your bachelor's and you can't get those core classes you need because everyone else is going to college. So
Yeah.
it's like,
Mm-hmm.
that's the biggest hurdle.
Mm-hmm.
Time. So.
I'd rather be the jack of all trades, master at none. So you know, yeah,
I'm the utility guy. I can do it all, but I don't do it well.
yeah. There you go. I'll do it, but I won't do it well.
Oh,
You can do
That's
it
boy.
all.
criminal
You just can't do
lawsuit.
it very
That's
good.
called malpractice.
Oh my goodness. Not the real, well, the real Slim Shady. Please stand up.
Uh,
Just kidding.
yeah.
Okay. Are we good?
We're good, I think.
We did it.
We're good.
We did
We
it.
learned so much.
Oh my gosh.
I
This
like
was
it.
a lot of fun. We didn't get to all the questions. We will try to put it on our Instagram, the additional questions, if you anyone in chat would like to answer it or see what they or our answers would be. I think we should start doing that, guys. What do you think?
What?
That'd be cool. I mean,
Any questions
it'll
we can't get to, we'll still answer them, but we'll put it on our
we'll
social media.
we'll
Oh,
have
we can
more
do that.
Yeah.
interactive
that.
activity.
I think we should do it. So we'll put it on Instagram or one of our other social media. And we'd like to hear what your answers are too in the chat, guys. So feel
Oh,
free.
I forgot to
Chime
I
in.
forgot to show you the graphics from Pac-Man's questions. There we go.
Oh, that's okay.
That's
Oh,
Miss
yeah.
Medina, guys. That's Funky Cold Medina.
You know what?
Stock
That's
picture.
It's pretty close, actually. I didn't
That's
think
what-
about it.
See, that's
I
why
didn't
he
even
picked
think
that
about it.
one. He's like, oh wow.
She's pondering. She's pondering.
I
down
found her finally.
there.
Wow.
She's self-reflecting, right there, supposedly.
Okay,
She's
there's
grading your kindergarten work
there's
right
the
now.
pondering. One's elated, the other one's like, oh man.
Yeah.
I know. I can relate to the guy on the right.
Yeah.
He's like, oh shit, this is due today by noon.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It's about success and failure.
All right.
She's like, yes, I quit my job, and the guy's like, I just got hired. I'm gonna get fired.
I can't find a job. Yeah. All right. There's all the graphics. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I think we're pretty much it. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, we're done. with
Okay,
this,
y'all.
guys.
Thank you, guys. I learned a lot.
Me.
I
too.
learned a lot about all of you and the people in
Yeah.
chat too.
We
I
learned
think-
very
I
much
think it's
about
good,
y'all.
you know.
Lot of wisdom.
Yeah.
We learned about Mr. McBabe.
You don't like Robert Lozelle? Just kidding. Okay.
Or Lohan.
I put in there, you guys, the chat. So if anybody knows, or if I put it, if you know anybody that we can go raid, please start putting names in there. We can do a process of elimination. But you
What if
guys,
we just rated a new person that's doing a talk show
I mean, we
slash
did that
podcast?
we did that
before,
once
and-
before.
yeah.
Remember? Let's quickly just. Sorry, Johnny, I don't mean to jump in. Let's quickly go around the room here and give your socials or anything that you want to plug. Let's start with Pac-Man.
All right, guys. Again, if you guys want to catch me on Twitch, it is Crazy Pac-Man. The link is http://twitch.tv/crazypacman. You can also find me on Twitter, or we call it X,
Yeah.
under _Crazy Pac-Man _. And oh yeah, that's even better. X. Or you could catch me on Instagram under I am Crazy Pac-Man. That is I_am_Crazy Pac-Man.
Very cool.
Underscore.
I think.
Let's
Yeah,
go
there
with
you go.
DJ next.
Yes, you can follow me at twitch.tv/DJB_remix, as well as Instagram Threads. Follow me on Threads.
Nice.
And
I
of
forgot that's a
course,
thing.
X.
X.
DJB_remix everywhere else.
Forgot to ask anything else coming
should
up
be a
for you guys?
soundbite.
Any new events or down the road?
New events.
Or get something
well,
coming?
I'm bringing Deep in the Mix back very
Nice.
soon.
Go follow
So
DJ.
still a little bit of planning to do that, but yeah, I'm that's one of my goals within the next when the fall comes.
Nice.
It's basically fall anyway, but
Good.
yeah.
Pac-Man, anything
Deep
coming
in
up for
the
you? I forgot to ask.
Deep in the mix.
Who you ask, Pac-Man?
Yeah, Pac-Man, anything coming up for you?
Oh, for me? Oh, not much actually. Well,
You're going to another con.
personally. Oh, okay.
No.
Next week, I'm planning. All right,
Catch
next
him
week
there.
I'm planning to go to.
He's doing a meet and greet.
Oh man, don't. Okay, anyway, I'm going to Anime Impulse, Orange
Uh-huh.
County next week on Saturday, and
Find him.
I have my tickets to TwitchCon 2023.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
in
TwitchCon.
October. So yeah,
That thing.
that's what I have so far. So
Okay.
I don't know if I could IRL you guys during that time, but I'm still working on it. I tell everybody on my my streams. Like, hey, I'm doing IRL streams, but just never got to it. But I actually finally get to touch my GoPro, so I'm trying to figure that out now. So
Nice.
Cool.
it's getting close. Getting
Yeah.
close to doing IRL streams again.
Okay, Riz.
Yeah.
I am Rizline B on Twitch. I am also on Twitter as Half Conformist. I'm also in the Mid Card Wrestling podcast with Ray Next Door and Technical and other people. Um, I don't know. I play Diablo. Y'all wanna like if anyone wants to play that? I like to kill. I'm a necromancer. I have skeleton emotional support skeleton buddies.
Nice.
That's me.
All right, and Johnny.
All my socials is under Johnny freaking Rico. YouTube, Instagram, BitChute, Twitch, of course. I am starting a class this week for that's automotive technology emissions. So I've always been kind of interested in how does a car that's not passing smog, how do you get it past smog? So
Nice.
I'm probably gonna
That's
post some,
important.
maybe some of our classes on there, or IRL while in class. We're pretty cool with that. But
Nice.
some information on that. So if you have any problems with the older car, especially that won't pass emissions testing, hit me up. Check my website, especially YouTube. I'll probably have some stuff on there for stuff you can try and remedies, because it could be very expensive. And it could be something as simple as get a new gas cap.
Spark plug.
Yeah.
Lots of
So-
stuff coming up for Mr. Johnny there. All right, y'all. My name is Annie. Annie Talks. Here's my socials. I'm on
Yay.
Twitch, Discord. You do need
Yay.
to be in. You need to hit up one of my mods to be in Discord. I forgot about that. Anyways, I am back from my 21-day hiatus, so I'm back to streaming. Only very limited now, Mondays and I don't know, Saturdays, I think. But I am working on a faith-based podcast. So those of you who are interested, shoot me up a DM if you have my Discord, or you can text me. Yay. And I do have 2 other panelists that are going to be involved with it as well. So I'm really, really looking forward to it. I feel very called to do this. So if if anybody would like to be a part of that, or would like the link to that, let me know. It's going to probably be on the Annie Talk show. I haven't decided yet, but okay. All right. Otherwise, here's all the panelists there.
Okay.
All right, y'all.
Us.
We're going to go raid. If somebody has anybody in mind, I'm grabbing the raid call here in just a second. If anybody has, if you know anybody that you want to raid, please tell me who that would be. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody that came through chat. I appreciate everybody that was here. Brandon and Huskyman were quite active in the chat, and those that were lurking, hey, we saw you. We want to say hello to you. But this is the raid call. You can copy and paste that. Although I don't know who we're gonna go raid, unless you guys have anybody in mind.
Originally put a suggestion
Oh.
in the
In the Discord.
Oh, unless
I
you had someone,
whispered.
Pac-Man.
I whispered.
Oh, okay, hold on. You did to my
I whispered.
which one?
Pac-Man's like, "Psst."
Oh, to
Oh, Annie Talks. I see. Okay. Let's. Who's is the one that you have in mind, Riz? Is that the spelling right there?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's
They're
go.
doing they're doing a chill art stream right now.
Okay. I think this is it,
Ooh,
right?
art.
Okay. Let's go say hello.
I love art.
Let's do it.
They
All right.
always relax.
Thank you,
Oh,
everybody.
the QQTs. Okay.
Thank you, everybody,
Alright,
for
alright.
being here. Truly appreciate it. You guys, stick around. We will post the next time we have a podcast sometime in the near future. But appreciate everybody that stopped by. So talk to you all very soon. Thank you all. Bye. Okay, let's go see who this is. All right. Oh, darn. Continue to chat. Okay.
We did it. Happy birthday.
Yeah, we did it.
It's her birthday?
No, I just say that.
The stream is off, right?